And we are live. How's everybody doing tonight? My name is Anthony Brian Logan, and you're watching and/or listening to ABL Live. Thank you for joining me tonight. You could be almost anywhere in the world, but you're right here with me live on the show, and I appreciate y'all for that. We got a whole lot going on all over the internets, all over the mainstream media, social media, everywhere, and I don't know where to start. Dr. Doom, Anthony Fauci, will resign as of December 2022, conveniently right after the midterm elections, but before they become inaugurated, so the GOP can't take the House before he leaves. Very interesting timing. Oh, he's 81 years old, ABL. He's so tired. Well, he must not be that tired to be on the cover of every magazine on planet Earth, like Sam Rothstein, but I'm getting triggered already, so I digress. Also, there was a mass shooting in Atlanta, or at least something that you could consider a mass shooting. But for some reason, the mainstream media didn't really pick it up. We'll talk about that as well. Also, student loan forgiveness, $10,000, up to $10,000, pardon me. Up to $10,000 will be forgiven if you make up to $125,000. That's what's being proposed by the Biden administration, something that Biden will do on his own. Not sure how that happens without Congress. Even Nancy Pelosi said that it takes Congress to do such a thing like that. It can't just be done by one man with a pen stroke, but we'll talk about that in a minute. Also, Andrew Tate. Do you know who he is? Do you not know who he is? I bet you will now that he's been banned by the whole internet. We'll talk about all those things and more on tonight's episode of ABL Live. And I thank y'all for being here. I definitely appreciate you guys. If you enjoy what you have heard thus far, if you enjoy the content in general, please give the video a thumbs up, like the video, share the video, do all that good stuff. And if you listen to me right now on your favorite audio streaming platform, whether that be Google Play, Spotify, Stitcher, Anchor, Apple, iTunes, etc., please give me a 5-star rating, a review, a share, whatever you can do. Please support me on those channels. And if you don't know, this is a podcast you're listening to, whether you're listening to it right now live on YouTube or on the replay on YouTube or on your favorite audio streaming platform. But it is a podcast, and it will be available on those audio platforms I mentioned at 8 a.m. the next day, Eastern time. So, for example, right now it's 8 p.m. Eastern time as it's being recorded live on a Wednesday. This will be available audio only Thursday at 8 a.m. Eastern Standard Time for free, as is the podcast always. So that's that. And of course, this Friday, I will be in Dallas, Texas at the Uncle Tom Part 2 premiere. If you have not seen the first Uncle Tom documentary, movie, whatever you want to call it, it is available right now on UncleTom.com. Go there. It'll send you to a YouTube page, but you have to be signed in because YouTube wants to censor us. Talking about, oh, it's not age appropriate, all this, that, and the third. It's just censoring of conservative voices, especially black conservative voices, because we're a threat to the whole thing over there. You know what it is. So check out UncleTom.com. Watch the first one and purchase the second one. It comes out this Friday, August 26th. You still got a couple more days to get the pre-order in. And if you use promo code ABL over on UncleTom.com to pre-order, you're able to get 30% off. And the link for that will be in the description box below. So check it out right now today if you have not done so already. And of course, I will be at the premiere in Dallas, Texas this Friday in a couple of days. That's going to be 7:30 p.m. at Angelica Theater. Tickets are available on UncleTom.com. I will be there, as will many of us be. Brandon Tate is going to be there. You're going to have Ben Carson, Alan West. A lot of guys are going to be there. It's going to be packed from the window to the wall. So come on out. Carol Swain's going to be there. You guys got to check it out this Friday, August 26, 2022 in Dallas, Texas, 7:30 p.m. at Angelica Theater. Tickets available on UncleTom.com. And check out the movie if you can't make the premiere, and check it out anyway. And as a matter of fact, when you buy tickets to go to the actual premiere in person, you're able to get a physical copy of Uncle Tom Part 2 on DVD. So check it on out if you're able to make it to the premiere. If not, go to the website, UncleTom.com, and pre-order the movie. And if you don't miss it, if you don't make the pre-order, just go ahead and buy it when it comes out anytime. So that'll be that. And what else we got going on? Oh, of course, shout out to the sponsors. As always, y'all know how I do. Shout out to me, first and foremost. Go to anthonyblogan.com. That is ANTHONY, the letter B, LOGAN.com. For every video that I produce, I write an article on my website, and I always source my articles extensively after each article. So after the video, after videos that I clip in there that are not necessarily me talking, after what I write, I give sources, links to all over the place, from left wing, right wing, independent, local, national. It's all right there in the sources. So if you want to fact check me, if you want to try to challenge what I say as being incorrect, go ahead and use my sources and then use your own sources and compare and contrast and see if what I'm saying is true, if what I'm saying is legitimate, or if it's not legitimate. Again, AnthonyBLogan.com. Also go to the contact page, AnthonyBLogan.com/contact. And on there, you're able to find my email address, my snail mail address, all my social media accounts, my Twitter, Facebook, Instagram. And if you ever have a question about, hey, ABL, is this you on my DM talking about how to get rich with Forex or how to make money from Bitcoin? First of all, that's not me. I would never, ever, 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 ever DM you or comment to you about anything like that. Never, ever. If it appears to be a scam or something like, hey, contact me right now on WhatsApp, you would never contact me on anything else other than the number for the show, during the show, or my email address, which is contact@anthonyblogan.com. That's the only way I will contact you. Okay? Maybe in a Twitter DM or something like that, but usually email is how I'll respond. That's usually how I was going to go. Okay? Even if you hit me on Twitter or something like that, I might read it, but I may not respond to it. And if I do respond, it's probably going to be through email. So you know that it's me and it's not a scam. So that's that. AnthonyBLogan.com. Check it on out right now today if you have not done so already. Also go to ABLmerch.com. That is ABLmerch.com. We got hats, t-shirts, stickers, hoodies, mugs, and more on the website. Check it on out, ABLmerch.com. Shout out to PatriotPost.us. The best source of news and information anywhere on these internets. Again, PatriotPost.us. Link for them will be in the description. Then go to bhedesigns.com. They make the beautiful handmade wooden flags that are right behind me. You can get ones that are just like that or whatever you desire for yourself. Custom made. Holla at them over at bhedesigns.com. Tell them I sent you. And I think that'll be a wrap for my sponsors so far. If you're interested in being a sponsor, you can contact me at contact@anthonyblogan.com. I try to be very selective of who I have as a sponsor because, you know, that's just what I like to do. So, yeah, hit me up. Let me know what's going on. Any tips for news? That's probably the best way I use my email is news tips. If you have any tips for news, you can send it to me on my email address. Please, 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 please. I'm begging you, James Brown style. Do not spam me. Don't spam me, bro, because that's the easy way to get blocked. Instamatically. And if you don't know what spamming is, well, don't email me back to back during the day about things that you probably know that I know about. Don't send me 20 emails in one day talking about the Biden infrastructure plan when you know that I know about that. But anyway, that'll be a wrap for the sponsors. Let's get to some of these topics. Now, we got a whole lot to discuss. I'm not really sure where to begin. I think I want to start with student loan forgiveness. Let's get straight into it. Student loan forgiveness. This has been a very interesting topic. It's brought out some of the Bernie bros, some of the people that say we want money, give us free money. And it's so weird because we all know how this whole thing ends, right? We know how it ends when you keep getting government money thrown at you. What's going to happen is you're going to be awash and all this monopoly money, paper money, and it's going to make things cost more in the end. How are you going to pay for student loan forgiveness from printing and spending? And we know that printing and spending is what's gotten us here right now. But I guess not everyone understands that. Not everyone really gets the fact that we printed so much money. What they said, we created like 80% of all the dollars in existence in the past 2 or 3 years. That's going to be inflationary. And you know what? It's weird because I remember as a little boy, I asked my mom, like, this is a true story. I asked her, I had to been probably about, I don't know how old I was. I was a little kid, 7, 8 years old, something like that. But old enough to understand certain things, but not quite old enough to understand the way certain things worked. You understand? Like, I understood you needed money to be able to buy things. I understood you had poor people, you had rich people, but I didn't quite understand the way money worked at that time. And I asked her a question. I'm like, hey, since you can print money and there's so many poor people, why can't they just print more money so we all have more money? In my 8-year-old mind, that made sense. I did not know about monetary policy. I did not know about inflation and I didn't know anything about that. I'm just an 8-year-old little kid, just curious about the world and what's going on around me. I asked her the question and she told me about inflation in that moment. She was like, well, son, if they print more money, then money becomes worthless. So it won't make a difference. You can have more money, but the more you print, the less it's going to actually be beneficial. You'll be able to purchase fewer things with more dollars if you don't earn the dollars legitimately and you just have the dollars printed. I was told that at about 8 years old, and it made sense. I'm like, oh, okay, well, you have too much of a thing and you don't get it naturally. You just keep printing it. It's going to be worth less than what it is. It's called inflation. And it's so strange to see people talking about that as legitimate monetary policy right now in 2022. Like, not just normies, because the normies might not know any better. If you're a normie, you may not have ever asked that question to your parents. And if you did ask the question, they may not have had the correct answer. You may not have asked that question in class. And if you did ask it, you may have gotten the wrong answer. But I asked the question and got the correct answer at a young age, so I understand. But it's weird seeing these grown people that are financial experts go on television with a straight face and say, we're going to print more money to solve inflation. We're going to pass the Inflation Reduction Act to solve the issue of inflation. And in this Inflation Reduction Act, it's not going to be about policy, really. It's not going to be about certain regulations to control the money supply. We're going to print and spend 700 billion or whatever it is more dollars, and that's going to solve inflation. Although the reason why we have inflation right now is because we printed some billions or trillions of dollars. It's the dumbest thing in the world. And here's a meme for you guys right quick. It's a little spicy, but I don't think YouTube's going to mind. I think YouTube would be okay. All right. I think YouTube would be just fine. Hold on. There we go. Wait a minute. Let's get that more in focus. All right. And if you guys can't see it, what you have here is an infamous picture of, what's this, Prince Andrew from the Kingdom of Great Britain. Is that what that is, Prince Andrew? Some young girl. And in the background, you have Ghislaine Maxwell. So you already know what's happening in this picture. You already know what it is. Now, on Prince Andrew, you have a label, 87,000 IRS agents. On a young girl, you have U.S. taxpayers. And by the way, Prince Andrew, if you can't see it, I got to describe it. Prince Andrew is like posing for a picture. They're all posing for the picture. And he's grabbing the girl by her waist. So you already know what that is. And Ghislaine Maxwell's in the background. And on her, it says Inflation Reduction Act. So you could put 2 and 2 together and figure out what this meme is saying. All right. The U.S. taxpayer, hey, man, it's going to be rough. It's going to be a rough night. Put it to you that way. It's going to be a rough life. Put it to you that way. It might be a little dark, but you know I like dark memes, dark humor. It is what it is. That's what's going on right now in America. They're talking about they're going to help us. The funniest thing that I've heard about the new IRS agents is that they're going to go after the top dogs, the big wigs. It's like that's never been how they operate. They don't operate like that. The IRS, how they operate is they go after the small guys. They get a lot from a little. They don't get a lot from a lot. You try to go after Elon Musk and whatnot. I mean, you're already pretty much draining that tree drive all the money that they have. What did Elon pay? Like some billions in taxes? He has no more. Like, if you make a guy like Elon pay any more in taxes, he'll just leave. He'll go somewhere else. That's what the rich do when they are being taxed too much, when things get a little bit too hairy, when they about to go to the penitentiary and they don't want to go. Oh, no, they go ahead and just bounce. They go ahead and bounce. Who was that actor, comedian that had married his stepdaughter or something like that, allegedly? Or his adopted daughter. I don't want to say the wrong thing. But long story short, was it Woody Allen? This guy fled overseas and won't come back because if he comes back, he's going to go to the penitentiary for messing with them little girls. But that's how they operate. They leave, whether it be for a crime they commit or because they don't want to follow certain laws that they feel are unjust or whatever the case may be. And in this case, talking about taxes, I don't blame them for leaving. I don't blame them at all. They got enough money to where you don't have to be here in the U.S. You can be somewhere else with your money. That's totally fine. Go to Thailand, Vietnam, or go somewhere we don't have any extradition. Go to somewhere in Europe, go to Japan, Russia, so you cannot be extradited back to the USA to face whatever crime you may have committed. Okay. Yeah, Woody Allen. Thank you. That's who did that. So Woody Allen married his adopted Chinese daughter. There you go. That's exactly what happened. So would that be considered brooming? I don't want to say the other word because I don't want to get striked on YouTube tonight, but it starts with a G and ends with a rooming. Isn't that what he did to the Chinese daughter? That's what it sounds like. I mean, you adopt a Chinese daughter and then you marry her. What part of the game is that? It looks like you were trying to set her up for that from the very beginning. It's pretty crazy, pretty sick, but that's how a lot of these people are. They do things like that. But anyway, so I went down a deep rabbit hole. I don't know where I'm at right now. I need to get a map to get out. Good grief. Can I get a compass? Throw me a compass and a torchlight, a lantern, please. But anyway, back to what I was talking about, student loan forgiveness. So Biden wants to cancel $10,000 of student loan debt for borrowers to make up to $125,000. If you're married, filing joint, you can make $250,000, but it would still only be $10,000 for each person. So husband and wife, okay, y'all married, joint, you make $250,000 together. You can have up to $10,000 canceled each for your student loans. Now, one thing I've not heard is how much it's going to cost. That's the elephant in the room for me. How much will this cost? How much taxpayer money are we going to print and spend to pay for all this? Second, who authorized this to happen? We're talking about the, what they call it, the Build Back Better, whatever they just passed for however many hundreds of trillions of printed and spent money. They had to go through Congress, had to go through the House and the Senate and then the president. But this thing here, trying to pass student loan forgiveness, I've not heard about the Congress talking about this. I've not heard about any vote on this in Congress. And Nancy Pelosi said it herself that you cannot pass such a thing without having Congress be involved. And as a matter of fact, let me find this right quick. Here we go. Perfect timing. Look at this. All right, let's see this clip right here where Nancy Pelosi says it herself. You cannot do this. And that's a good point right there, Crystal Blue. I'm going to get right back to that. Crystal Blue says, then college tuitions will go way up. Of course. Let's check it out right here. What Nancy Pelosi says about the whole situation.
People think that the president of the United States, is this more on the subject than you ever want to know? Will you let me know? People think that the president of the United States has the power for debt forgiveness. He does not. He can postpone, he can delay, but he does not have that power. That has to be an act of Congress.
So this was in April of this year or last year? This was pretty recently. Nancy Pelosi, Speaker of the House, says that the president cannot do this. She says this. So when Biden comes out and says, I can't do it, who's right and who's wrong? I think that Nancy Pelosi is right. You know, I don't want to agree with Nancy Pelosi, but I mean, if Nancy Pelosi said that it's raining outside during the hurricane, how am I going to sit here and deny that she's correct? What she said here is right. Okay. What she said is right. And how is Biden going to get around that? I don't think that he's able to do this. Right. And speaking of Biden, okay, your man is not falling apart. Your man has fallen apart. Well, he didn't actually, somebody says right here, he just did though. he didn't actually pass anything. He just announced it. You see, they're funny with the words like that. They'll say, okay, we're going to do X, Y, and Z, but doesn't mean that they actually are able to do it. It's going to face legal challenges because you bypass Congress. You can't do that. So he has announced it. They kind of like are a little premature with it. And I think the reason why they announced it is because midterms are coming up. So people think, oh yeah, he went ahead and did this. Meanwhile, it's not really done. So by the time it goes through court and all that kind of stuff, you're already going to be done with midterms. And I think a way they're going to try to campaign out there on a trail is to say, hey, if you vote Democrat, we'll be able to get student loan forgiveness passed. Although that's not really how it's going to work. Because you should, if you have the House and the Senate right now, be able to pass it. You see what I'm saying? So I don't think it's going to get passed at all. If you could pass it, you would pass it right now. You have the House, you have the Senate, and the presidency as the Democrats. So it's not going to actually come to fruition, but they're going to use that as a carrot and dangle in front of you, Democrat voters. Hey, black voters, Hispanic voters, you want to have 10 grand of debt removed from your student loan bill? Well, vote Democrats. Well, why can't you do it right now when you're already in power? You see what I'm saying? That's the kind of games they play in D.C. But that's why I just keep an eye on the streets to see what's happening and to see how they operate, to see how they play games with you. But here's a clip from your man, Joe Biden, speaking about ineffective leaders, incompetent leaders. Listen to what he says right here about Black and Hispanic student loan borrowers. Check it out. You got to hear it. Give me 1 second. Let me load it up right quick.
Many of you had to leave school because the financial strain was much too high. About a third of the borrowers have debt but no degree, and worst of both worlds.
Okay, let's pause right there. I'm gonna restart it, but let's pause. If you're struggling with debt and have no degree, the question has got to be asked at a certain point. Before I go any further, the question has got to be asked: at what point is that your fault? If you go into college with no game plan, and I understand sometimes life happens, death in the family, etc. I get it. But if you go to college with no plan, sign off on the big debt on your back, and you accumulate debt and don't even get a degree. Like I saw one girl in one of these channels talking about student loan debt. She had $80,000 in student loan debt with no degree, and the degree was BS anyway. Liberal arts, some other nonsense like that, with no degree. It's like you're just wasting time. You're going to college for fun. When I was 17 years old, I'm gonna come back to this, but I gotta give a personal testimony right now. When I was 17 years old in high school, I knew at that point, okay, I can't go to a college and just waste my time because time is money. I need to be able to have my student loan debt be as low as possible because I got to pay it when I get out. And I don't know how much I'll make when I get out of school because I was going to be an entrepreneur from the beginning. At 17 years old, I knew that I was going to be self-employed. And I've been like that, self-employed since like completely. I've been self-employed completely since I've been about 19, 20 years old. But I was making money independently, even with a job when I was like 18, 17, 18. In high school, I was making money independently. So you're talking about 20 years I've been doing this, different things, making money. But I digress. The point is, I knew at that age, I can't rack up a big student loan debt. I didn't care about going to live on campus or pledging Greek or none of that. I didn't care about none of that stuff. I had no interest in spending a bunch of money because I thought about it like this. I'm like, okay, how much does Hampton cost? How much does ODU cost to live on campus? It costs that much? Well, I'm going to just stay home and pay my mama rent and work and then commute. It's right there. Why would I go out of state when it's a college right there? I'm not going for no real specialized thing. I knew at that age how to do with money a little bit. I wasn't a genius, but good grief. I mean, come on. My point I'm making is at a certain point, it's up to you to make your own decisions. If you're going to be an adult, make adult decisions. And I understand that it can be hard for a lot of these young people to have this blank check basically put in front of them, They can get whatever they want. Sometimes, a lot of times they take the student loan refund and buy ridiculous stuff, iPhones. I get it. But if you're going to be an adult, be an adult. All right. And if you want to be a child, be a child. Okay. Still be up under your mommy and daddy's roof and let them make the decisions. Let them control it, or you control it as an adult. You know, when I was probably about 15, 16, I made adult decisions for myself because I was just like that. But I know everybody won't be like me, but still, kids nowadays should learn that if you're taking out student loan debt, you got to pay that back. And it might not be some random white man that's 1,000 years old who's halfway dead saying it's okay now. We'll forgive you, or at least a portion of it. I saw somebody on Twitter say, I have $100,000 in debt, so that this is going to be a good thing for me. I'm like, look, you're going from 100,000 to 90,000. I mean, you still owe a lot of money. You still owe quite a bit of money. That's like 2 or 3 cars worth of money that you owe. So, I mean, don't go jumping for joy. And it's not even going to be in law anytime soon or at all. But I digress. Let's go back to the video to see what this man said. Oh, that's something else. It's me. Go to the military and get a GI Bill. Amen. Amen. My uncle went to the Navy and is an engineer. He works whenever he wants. House paid off, put all his kids through college, helping the grandkids out. You know, he didn't go to some 4-year university. He went to the military at 18 years old, retired in his 30s, and after that became an engineer. Works whenever he wants to, just chilling, living it up. My granddad on my dad's side did the GI Bill as well. Became very successful. Met the governor of Virginia, was friends with him, Douglas Wilder back in the day. Look him up. So you could do things in a different way, but you have to be educated about it. And I think that it's up to us as people in the community to educate children about what they can do with themselves when they get to be adults, or even before they get to be adults. Develop a skill, develop a talent, and make money doing that. And how to pay for it, what avenues you can go through in life to become somebody. Okay, rather than just saying go to college and take out a big crazy amount of student loan debt and go drinking and drugging in school. To me, that was the dumbest thing ever. Why would you go to college to party and you paying them money? I never understood that, because when I was in Virginia at 17, 18, 19, I was going to parties. You know, I'm doing my thing. I wasn't a party animal, but I would go to parties. But like I would be in the college parties while not living on campus. I didn't understand why you had to live on campus when you're from there and pay that amount of money to go to a party that you can go to anyway. I didn't get it. But anyway, I'll play the video now, I promise. This is Joe Biden talking about Black and Hispanic borrowers.
Many of you had to leave school because the financial strain was much too high. About a third of the borrowers have debt but no degree, and worst of both worlds, debt and no degree. The burden is especially heavy on Black and Hispanic borrowers, who on average have less family wealth to pay for it. They don't own their homes to borrow against to be able to pay for college.
So did you hear that? Let's hear that last part again.
Less family wealth to pay for it. They don't own their homes to borrow.
Hold on, one more time.
Agree. The burden is especially heavy on Black and Hispanic borrowers, who on average have less family wealth to pay for it. They don't own their homes to borrow against to be able to pay for college.
They don't own their homes to borrow against to pay for college. First of all, borrowing against your house to pay for college, who does that? Who does that? You got federal loans. Why do you need to put your house up for that? Is that how that works? You get a federally guaranteed loan. That's not really how that works. Putting your house up? But I mean, I'm in my house right now that I own. Like I'm right now in my house that I own. Okay. And when I built this house, little baby flex, when I built this house, this room right here was dedicated for a studio to do this, what I'm doing right now. Okay. So I don't really understand that. Black and Hispanics don't have houses to be able to borrow from. I'm not really grasping what you're trying to say here, sir. It's kind of like the whole, hey man, vote for me or you ain't black. It's like that all over again. Can you imagine if Trump said something like this? Blacks and Hispanic don't own houses, so they can't borrow against it. What world is he even living in? Y'all please just let me know if I'm just making stuff up or if I'm correct. Must you have a home to borrow against to pay for college? Or do you take out a student loan like everybody else, which is backed by the federal government, which is why you're able to get it? It's accessible. FAFSA forms, isn't that how that works? Your student aid, isn't that how that works? Do you put your house up against it? I've never heard about that happening before. Maybe I'm wrong. Maybe I don't know anything. But wouldn't that be like a HELOC? Wouldn't that be a second mortgage? That's not how people pay for college, is it? I don't know. But y'all let me know if I'm correct or if he's correct. If he's the one that is saying the wrong thing or the right thing. Oh yeah, that's right, Dent Machine. Put on the phonograph at night. Yeah, you gotta put on the phonograph, borrow against your house, pay for college. Sir, what year are you in? This is the year 2022. What year are you in? You appear to be in the year 1965. Where's your mind at? Okay. I didn't build it myself. I just had it built. I had contractors, but I didn't build it myself. Okay, just to be clear, I don't want to say like, yeah, I was out there like Paul Bunyan or He-Man swinging. Nah, I wasn't doing all that. Okay, so am I correct? Okay, stuck in the 1940s. There we go. Yeah, but see, if you could take out a student loan and have your parents co-sign on it, so then they would be responsible. Why would you put up your house to pay for college? That makes no sense. If you put your house up to pay for college, you're not being very smart. Okay, if you gotta do all that, then I'm not really sure what we got going on. Ivana Spencer says, own a house. I'm still trying to figure out where the DMV is. There we go. How silly of me. We don't even know how to get to the DMV. We don't know how to, where to go to buy a home. We don't know how to vote. The dumbest thing in the world. The whole thing with voter ID, it just never ceases to amaze me what people think about the quote unquote black community. It's like, come on, man, a DMV? Be for real, man. That's not difficult to understand. All right. Let me see. I'm reading some of the comments here. Yeah, you're paying your student loans. That's the main thing. The student loan debt is crazy. Not second mortgage. The student loan debt is like over $1 trillion. It's a lot of money. It's an insane amount of money. It's crazy. All right. But yeah, Biden, I don't think Biden is even being racist. I think Biden is just 1,000 years old. He doesn't know where he is. He wants to go on a tour to help people in the midterm elections. I'm like, sir, how are you going to make it? During the campaign to become president, you were in your basement half of the time, if not 80% of the time. And you had an excuse because of the virus. That's why you were in your basement. Oh, we can't have people in close contact, all this, that, and the third. You did that during the presidential campaign, but now that's over with. So what are you going to do? Are you going to be doing virtual Zoom calls for everybody? That ain't going to cut it. You got to actually be out there on the ground talking. And you can barely talk for 25 seconds without putting your foot in your mouth. So how is that going to work out? Oh yeah, I have no ID. I'm traveling. Like I'll be on a plane tomorrow with no ID. I'll be on a plane tomorrow with no ID. I drive all the time. No driver's license. None of that. You know what I'm saying? I took out a mortgage. I don't got no ID, nothing. I'm just out here living. They say, hey man, we need 3 points of identification. I be like, look, man, I got a McDonald's gift card. I got a Walmart receipt, and I have a Foot Locker coupon with my name on it. That's all I really got for you, man. I have no identification at all. No passport, no license, no nothing, man. But anyway, the internet, I have no idea how to work the internet. I don't know what I'm doing. I'm live streaming right now just by happenstance. I just push buttons randomly, and boom, I became a streamer. That's how it worked. There we go. All right. So yeah, long story short, about the whole about the student loan forgiveness. It's going to be inflationary. They have no idea how much it's going to cost. That's not been a thing. They'll say how much they're going to forgive, but they don't say how much it's going to cost. Because it'll cost way too much money. It's going to be inflationary. All of what they are proposing, the Build Back Better, whatever they got going on, the Inflation Reduction Act, the student loan forgiveness, it's all about posturing for the midterms, because they know that these things make them look good in the eyes of the Democratic Party and their constituents. Oh yeah, you're going to forgive student loan debt? Cool, great. Although it's going to be a lateral move at best, because you may have less money you owe on your student loan, but you're going to have inflation as a result. It's actually worse than a lateral move, because it's going to be down. If you are paying a certain amount of money in your student loan, and that is gone because of the student loan debt forgiveness, you may have that much more in your pocket, but you're going to have an increase in the cost of goods and services as a result of inflation. And that's going to be affected upon everyone, not just those who have student loan debt. It'll be plus upon me as well, who does not have student loan debt. My student loan debt was $7,000 total at its height, $7,000 US. That's it. And I paid it every day, not every day, pardon me, every month for 10 years straight. Automatic deduction from one account. And I could have paid it off earlier than that, but I wanted it to be like a long amount of time that I paid the student loan off, and it would show on my credit report that I paid every month on time, never missed one payment for 10 years straight. From like, when was that? 07 to 2017. Yep. So I don't have any debt. I mean, I made smart decisions. Everyone has a different story, but you got to tighten up and do better. That's pretty much all I would say. And to anybody that's out there, a young person, make smart decisions. You want to go party and drink and stuff like that? Don't mortgage your whole future away to do it. It don't cost that much, I promise. When you get to be 25 years old and you're graduating, you be at plenty of parties, house parties, club parties for free. You could get drunk and do whatever you want if that's your wave for next to $0. Especially if you're a woman, but that's a different story, and I will digress. So, speaking about government officials and whatnot, your main man, Anthony Fauci, has resigned. Finally. Now, Anthony Fauci has been around since Ronald Reagan, or even before Reagan. I think he was around maybe in the 70s. He's been around for a very long time. He's been a fixture in Washington for a long time, although he's been bungling stuff for a long time as well. Just straight bungling stuff. And the question I have would be, why has he been around for so long? Like, what is the deal here? I think the reason why he's been around so long is because I can't really put my finger on it. Maybe y'all know why he's been around so long. Anthony Fauci, Dr. Doom, the so-called America's doctor. I'm going to say this right quick before we get into anything about Anthony Fauci and his retirement from NIAID. That's the National Institute of Allergy and Infectious Disease, which is part of the NIH. And then he was also Biden's chief medical advisor. He's going to resign from both or retire from both. Some say, well, he's 81 years old, ABL, he's tired. Well, look, Anthony Fauci had no problem being Sam Rothstein. And if you've not seen Casino, please watch it. But he had no problem being Sam Rothstein over the past 2 years, being on every magazine cover, doing all the podcasts, going on television, going on social media. He had no problem being the face of science, quote unquote, representing science. He had no problem doing that. I've seen Anthony Fauci more in the past 2 years than I've ever seen him before. And he was in DC for 50 years. So he don't appear to be that tired to me. If he's tired, I can't tell. And he says he wants to go to the next phase of his life. What's that going to be? Being on TV? Do you know he has a reality show? A reality show. Listen, this man has a reality show. They followed him for 18 months and filmed a reality show. This man wants to be Kim Kardashian. 81 years old and tired? I can't tell. I cannot tell. If he's tired, it's because he's doing too much media press. He's doing too much media ops, photo ops, and not any kind of work in Washington, D.C. What has he been doing in D.C.? You tell me, besides ruining lives, ruining careers, ruining families, ruining children. Talking about don't wear the mask, then wear the mask, then don't wear the mask, then wear the mask, get the vax, shut down, don't shut down, you don't need the vax, flip-flopping, changing. The main thing they said was trust the science, believe the science. Do we remember that? Do we recall that? Trust the science, believe the science. And then what they say? What did Anthony Fauci say? The science is changing. It evolves. Oh, okay. So it evolves now when we catch you saying things that aren't true. When we're able to prove things that you say aren't true, Anthony Fauci. But any other time, it's trust the science, believe the science. When you said that we don't need face masks, then we do need face masks. Your reason was that you lied at first because you did not want there to be a run on the face mask. So you're telling us things that you want us to know for a political purpose, for a supply and demand purpose, but not for the truth. Not for the truth. Look, tell me the truth. Don't try to manipulate me and try to socially engineer me. He got on TV and said that he made that up because of the supply of masks was going to get run on. He said that on TV. So it's not me making it up. It's him saying it. And my thing is, if you want me to, quote unquote, trust the science, believe the science, and you represent science, quote unquote, then I need you to tell the truth and not be on here telling me lies. Don't tell me a lie. Tell me what's really going on. Matter of fact, there's a few videos that I have that I gotta play. There's quite a bit I need to play actually. Oh, and pictures as well. Oh man, this right here kind of sums up Anthony Fauci. Hold on. Shout out to all the other Anthonys out there that aren't scumbags. Okay, but look, check it out. This is Anthony Fauci, and he's in his office apparently, right? Beautiful office. Look at the windows. I mean, amazing. Now, do you see all the circles on the picture? If you're not watching the video, I'll describe what's happening. So he's at his computer, or I guess it's a computer right there, at his desk. It's like an L-shaped desk in the corner of the room with windows on the side. There's a picture of him, of his face on the wall. There is a bobblehead of him on his desk, and another smaller picture of him in what appears to be a windowsill. There's also a towel right there on the couch that appears to have his face on it. What kind of person has that many pictures of themselves, like, right next to them? Look, I understand you like fan art and things of that nature. Okay, cool. But I'm not going to have my own face on the wall, like, all over the place. That is called narcissism, God complex, vanity, whatever you want to call it. And I hear these words get overused a lot. He's a narcissist. But this appears to be a textbook narcissist. You love yourself. You love being able to see yourself all over the television, all over mainstream media, all over the podcast. You're the authority on health and science and all this and that and the third. You represent science yourself. You love that about yourself. But then when it comes to being accountable for your actions, you don't want to do that at all. You want all the admiration, but no responsibility. That's Anthony Fauci in a nutshell. I can't say I hate people. That's a very strong word, right? Well, I can't say I can't say that. I will say that I don't typically say that I hate people because it's a very strong word. But Anthony Fauci makes me want to go ahead and just spit it out. This guy I hate. Because not what he's done to me, but what he's done to this country, what he's done to the whole world, the policies, the negative policies, and then acting like he didn't even do it. When we say, hey man, how about them shutdowns? Oh, I got a video. How about them shutdowns, man? You recommended the shutdowns, and now you say you don't recommend it. And he's like, oh, I never said that. I got a video of like a montage of him saying that he recommends shutdowns. me see if I can find it right quick. And in the meantime, if you like what you're hearing so far, please give the video a thumbs up. Like the video, share the video, do all that good stuff. That'll help me out tremendously. But we got to see it here. Hold on 1 second. We're going to get down to the bottom of it. But yeah, Anthony Fauci is a complete mess. Oh, here we go. Boom. Perfect. So this is Neil Cavuto. I think he's interviewing Fauci. It might have been today or sometime recently. I'm not really sure when this was. But listen to the question that he's asked, and listen to what Anthony Fauci has as a response, and then listen to previous clips of him saying something different. Check it out.
Do you regret particularly the last one, the shutdown, the sweeping shutdown that some said made things worse?
No, I don't, Neil. And in fact, I think we need to make sure that your listeners understand I didn't shut down anything.
I recommended to the president that we shut the country down. And the only way to do that is by draconian means of essentially shutting down a country. We know that we can do that if we shut down.
Well, I think one of the things you really need to do, to the extent that you can shut down temporarily the country, I think is important.
Well, if I knew at the time that shutting down would have such a dramatic effect on controlling the spread, obviously we would have shut down earlier. There are those who say you shut down you destructive things by disrupting the economy. And others say, well, if you save so many infections by shutting down, why didn't you shut down 2 weeks earlier?
But I don't regret saying that the only way we could have really stopped the explosion of infection was by essentially, I want to say shutting down. I mean, essentially having the physical separation and the kinds of recommendations that we've made.
You've been a big fan of Cuomo and the shutdown in New York. You've lauded New York for their policy. New York had the highest death rate in the world. How could we possibly be jumping up and down and saying, oh, Governor Cuomo did a great job? He had the worst death rate in the world.
No, you misconstrued that, Senator.
So, I mean, come on. Now, he's going to say, well, I wasn't the one that went and shut the store down. Like, he's not going to go in there and, lock a Wendy's up or write a law that says it. But people are going off of what he says, off of his advice, because he's a chief medical advisor, right? He's a big dog on campus, right? He's the go-to guy in Washington for medical stuff, isn't he? Isn't that correct? And he's been that way since the 70s and 80s. So he can't say that he has no responsibility in it when he was the one who recommended it. And he's done that over and over again, getting on TV and saying it over and over again. People are following his lead. You can't be the director of the NIH, part of the NIH, White House chief medical advisor, and assume no responsibility when the things that you recommend and you suggest and you even demand on television come to fruition. You can't say, oh, I didn't do that. They did that. See what I'm saying? That's bogus to me, because where did they get the idea from? You're the one that did it, Anthony Fauci. Take responsibility. Say, hey, you know what? That was a mistake. I wouldn't really be happy with that necessarily, but it would be a start. It would be a start, at least to say you take responsibility. But he didn't do that because, hey, I'll blame everybody else because I'm perfect. I'm Anthony Fauci. I'm beautiful. That's kind of what's going on. This guy's a mess. So I'm glad that he's gone or that he's leaving. But I don't want to hear anything about, oh, he's old, that's why he's leaving. I think he's leaving because he doesn't want to deal with a GOP-led House, possibly GOP-led Senate. He doesn't want to deal with it. And I think a lot of people who have been in D.C. for a long time are leaving. They left during the midterms as well. A lot of Democrats, they left during the midterms. They retired or they refused to run again. And it'll be the same thing in 2024. People are going to leave because they know that the red wave is coming. And it's weird. I'm watching television and I see some of the conservative people downplaying the ability of the GOP to take over. And I think the reason why they're doing that is because they don't want that Trump energy to come back. They want things to go back to the way it was before Trump. But the problem is those days are long gone. They're not coming back. The days of pre-Trump, the days of you can go out there with a pocket protector and be Jeb Bush. Jeb Bush, you might as well go ahead and bury that man under the sand. Jeb Bush is just in the same boat as Joe Biden. Okay, he's toast. They really tried to put Jeb Bush out there to let him run for president. It's like, come on, man. Really? You think Jeb's going to win with no personality, a potato personality, and he's super outdated, super outdated. It's like having a car in 2022 with no safety features, no backup camera. You can have a car like that if it's a classic, beautiful car, but not if it's some kind of potato car that, that nobody really drove. Okay, give me a Mustang from the 60s. Something like that that's well kept up, well maintained, restored, beautiful. Give me something like that. Don't give me no beat down Volvo from the 80s. I don't want that. Give me a vintage car that's very well maintained. Don't give me a Jeb Bush. Give me, if Reagan was still living, he could be 1,000 years old. Put Reagan in there. Don't put Jeb or W in there. I don't want that. Ted Cruz is okay. I'm not necessarily against Ted Cruz. I think that DeSantis would be the pick. I'll put it to you this way. If DeSantis does not run for president, I would take Ted Cruz to be the president. Yeah, sure. And I know I've said before years ago that I hated Ted Cruz, but he's grown on me. I like Ted Cruz actually now. I've changed my mind on Ted Cruz. I'm not sure why I didn't like him before. It might have just been his personality. I think he's improved himself. It might have been the PR person that came in and tightened him up. I don't know what it was, but I like Ted Cruz now. The beard helped. Shout out to the beard gang. Greg Abbott, but Greg Abbott, the problem with Greg Abbott is that he's in the wheelchair. And I don't really care about that, but I know people are. They're not going to like that. That's not going to signify strength to them. He's a great governor, in my opinion, but people are going to look at that and see it as a sign of weakness. But I'm not saying that's how I feel. I'm just saying I know how people are. That's all. So don't attack me. I'm just saying what people are going to think. But yeah, so Anthony Fauci's out as of December 2022, but I think he'll still be kind of around. Kind of like Obama, still kind of around, still kind of doing things, still having a bug in somebody's ear. And when Fauci leaves, here's my question. Who's going to be the next White House chief medical advisor? We going to put Sanjay Gupta in there? We're going to put, hopefully they put Rochelle Walensky in there. Rochelle Walensky was dropping truth bombs a lot lately. The CDC director? Oh, yeah. Truth bombs. The biggest truth bomb I have from her is from last year. And I pinned it on my Twitter page because, first of all, there's a lot of views on it. But beyond that, this was October 2nd, 2021. And people still don't necessarily even know that this has been said. They don't know that this is the reality that comes from the CDC itself. Check it out.
Our vaccines are working exceptionally well. They continue to work well for Delta with regard to severe illness and death. They prevent it. But what they can't do anymore is prevent transmission. So if you're going home to somebody who has not been vaccinated, to somebody who can't get vaccinated, somebody who might be immunosuppressed or a little bit frail, somebody who has comorbidities that put them at high risk, I would suggest you wear a mask in public indoor settings.
So she's saying it right there that the vax do not prevent transmission. People think that if they get the vax, they can't catch it or spread it. They still think that to this day. But right here, she says that's not the case. They only prevent severity, allegedly. That's all they do. And we know there's been a lot of alleged side effects. Oh, and don't get me started on Fauci recommending the vax and the mandates, all that kind of stuff. And we know that there's side effects. I knew there was going to be side effects from the beginning. Even though Trump developed it, Operation Warp Speed, I knew as soon as he started developing the vax that I wasn't going to get it. It's common sense because when you have a brand new vax and it's rushed out there, we know, think about it like this. We know that vaccines typically take years and years and years to develop, get through FDA, get through testing and trials before they reach the market. Years and years and years. They brought this out and were developing it like in a year, 18 months. I'm like, nah, that's too soon to develop it. It's not been out there enough. I don't know what the effects are going to be. Short term, long term, I don't know. So I don't want it. I'll take my chances with my natural immune system. I said that from day one. I don't care who developed it. It could have been Trump, Hillary Clinton, Barack Obama, Ron DeSantis. It could have been anybody on earth. I'm not going to take it. I don't want it. And we know there's side effects. Heart problems, myocarditis, pericarditis, blood clots, all kind of stuff. Allegedly. For legal reasons, I got to say that. But you already know what it is. If you see somebody get the shot and they pass out on the ground 2 minutes later, boom. What do you think caused it? People that are very healthy, 35 years old, 20 years old, 25 years old, heart attacks in their sleep. How? You are a quarterback on the field with long, beautiful hair, throwing these passes. You Tom Brady, 6'5". You dying at 22 years old. Why? What happened? Don't nobody want to ask that question? But yet you were mandated to get that if you wanted to get a job, if you wanted to travel out of the country. Let's say you came here to the country recently as an immigrant, legal immigrant. You have family abroad. You want to see your family get that shot. And no other choice. And then you get a vax injury as a result because you wanted to see your family and you were forced to do it. People like Anthony Fauci were behind that. They were the ones that pushed forward the Congress and whatnot to pass certain laws, or not even really necessarily laws, just like rules on the books in the airlines, but mostly laws. 14-year-old kids, exactly. Yeah, little kids falling out, dying. Healthy little kids, healthy boys running around like boys do. All of a sudden, clutching their heart, passing out, dying. Right? It's crazy. Athletes getting heart attacks. That's correct. So it's crazy. It's crazy. I'm still pure blood. If you got the vax, I'm not here to judge you. If you got the vax and you wanted to get it, that's your choice. It's your prerogative. I don't recommend getting it, but if you want to get it, go ahead. But if you were forced into it, hey, I feel for you. I really do, because not everyone had the ability to just say, I don't want to get it. You got certain jobs and you got a family, you got kids, you got your own body to take care of. You got to be able to eat every day. I understand why you would take it. But now we know that all of what I said about the vax and whatnot and criticizing Anthony Fauci is true. I may have said this before, but on Instagram, they kind of had shadow banned me, but not shadow banned. You couldn't mention me. So let's say, for example, you wanted to tag me in the post on Instagram. You could not tag me. And they gave you a reason why. They said Anthony B. Logan has posted several things that go against our COVID-19 misinformation policy. They said specifically COVID-19 misinformation. I posted things that were quote unquote untrue. But now all of a sudden you're able to tag me on Instagram. Why? Because all of what I said has come to fruition. All of what I said is reality. All of what I said is true. All of it. I did not say one false thing, but I was saying it too early for Mark Zuckerberg and the political establishment. I was saying it too early. I said too early that the cloth masks don't work, that no masks really work for real. I said it too early. They came out 2 years later saying that they don't work. Okay, I said that from the jump. I said it too early that the vax will not prevent transmission and their side effects. Then they came out later and said that exact same thing. Everything we said was true. People like Anthony Fauci wanted to suppress us, wanted to silence us, and wanted to push forward certain laws and rules and restrictions that just kept us in the box, that silenced us and prevented us from being able to just live life as normal. That's what it was. So yeah, I'm definitely vindicated. That's right. Definitely vindicated. But I'm glad that Fauci is gone, and I hope that he's not replaced by a worse person. And I hope that we learn from this whole scamdemic situation. I hope we learn from it and don't do it again. Don't do it again. And you know what? Some people have been conditioned by the scamdemic. Oh, they've been conditioned because when monkeypox came out, they put their mask right back on. I'm like, look, That is not going to help you. But people don't even really, all they heard was another outbreak. I'm putting my mask on. That's what happened. Yeah. Now, speaking about Andrew Tate, Dent Machine, that's a good segue. Dent Machine says they will ban you for the comments in your Instagram, in your comment section. Yeah, that's right. I've seen that happen. You get banned for comments that you didn't make in the comment section. It's like, how are you going to ban me for what they're saying? I didn't say it. They're saying it. It could be abuse toward me, but I'm getting banned because of abuse toward me that I didn't write in the comment section. They do stuff like that. But anyway, so Andrew Tate, a lot of you guys may know who he is. A lot of you guys may not know who he is. But Andrew Tate is or was a professional kickboxer. His father is or was a guy by the name of Emory Tate. And by the way, Andrew Tate is like biracial, I suppose, or black. I'm not sure how he identifies, but his father is black. So let me show you Andrew Tate right quick. Then I'll show you his father, Emory Tate. And apparently Emory Tate was in the CIA. I'm not sure about that. I think Andrew said that his father was in the CIA, but his father was a world-class chess player. So let's go ahead and show Emory, and then we're going to show Andrew. All right, give me 1 second here. So here is Emory. Let's go ahead and show him. That's Emory Tate right there. That's Andrew Tate's dad. Obviously, he's black. And here's Andrew right here. So probably biracial or something like that. Okay, that's Andrew Tate. He was a kickboxer for a long time. Had some success as a kickboxer. Lived in Thailand for a long time. He's a multimillionaire from various ventures that he has. He's been on a lot of podcasts talking about women, which is like his main thing that has gained popularity over the past year or so. Talks about finances and a bunch of other things. Fitness, I suppose. One of these motivational guys, alpha chat type guy. And that's pretty much what it is. Now, he's been banned from all social media platforms, from all the big guys at least. He's been banned from Twitter, Instagram, Facebook, YouTube, and TikTok and Twitch. Everything he's been banned from. I think he had been banned from Twitter a long time ago or a while ago. Same with TikTok, if I'm not mistaken. But Facebook, Instagram, and YouTube are more recent. And the reason is because he's become very popular over the past few months. Now, before my friend Kevin Samuels died, rest in peace, Kevin Samuels. Before Kevin Samuels passed away, Andrew Tate was very popular still. He had about 1 million followers or subscribers on Facebook and Instagram. I'm not sure which one, but he had about 1 million followers, probably on IG. Very popular, showing muscle cars, showing the kickboxing, talking about women. Very popular, right? After Kevin passed in May of this year, in June, he went from 1 million subscribers to about 4.7 million subscribers. So he was doing very well before Kevin passed. But when Kevin passed, there may have been a void. People wanted to get filled by somebody. And that somebody might have been Andrew Tate. Now, I'm not saying Tate and Kevin are the same because they're not. Kevin had a radio show, basically. People would call him and talk to him about situations, and he would break down what was going on. He'd do podcasts occasionally, but it wasn't really his thing. His thing was the show he had every night on YouTube and Instagram. Tate is more of a podcast guy, and also just, he does random stuff, but not a show every night. So they're not the same, but they have views about women that could be seen as controversial, views about women. So he's now more popular than he was before the ban, because everybody's now like, hey, what's going on? Who is this guy, Andrew Tate? Okay, who is this guy, Andrew Tate? Let's learn about him. So now he's going to be on Tucker Carlson. Yes, on Fox. He's going to be Tucker Carlson. Hold on, let me see if I can find the clip right quick. Now he's going to be on Tucker talking about what's going on. He put out a video called My Last Post or something like that. Hold on, let me see what that video was called. I think it was called My Last comment, something like that. Y'all please give me a moment. Hold on. I'm gonna try to find out what that was. My last post, what was that? Oh, final message. There we go. So his final message, you gotta watch it, find it on YouTube or somewhere. I'm not sure where it is. He's not on YouTube anymore, so you gotta find it on the internet somewhere. But it's like an hour and some change long. I heard about 10 minutes of it. It's really good. He goes into his childhood, how he was raised up, and his dad, and being from Chicago at first, then going to England. Is really deep. You should hear it. But now it's like, yo, who is this guy? When you ban someone from social media, it creates a sense of mystique about them. You don't necessarily know who that is, but you know because they've been banned. I need to know who that is. Who is this guy that is so important, that is so scary to the establishment, that he's been banned from all social media platforms at once? When they do that, it's not because of a real reason, usually, as far as terms of service. They'll do that to somebody that killed somebody, some random person. Like they'll scrub their pages and they'll shut them down. But a public figure, a guy with millions of followers, when they do that, it's because you have become a nuisance to them, at least to the advertisers, people like that. Okay, Andrew Tate said something crazy. Now I'm getting complaints from this group of moms. I'm getting complaints from this group over here. Okay, let's go ahead and let's go ahead and get him out of the picture. He was raised by his mom in England because he was with his father in Chicago, and then he went to England at a certain point, and his parents divorced. So I think his parents might have been together in Chicago, his mom and dad. They go to England and they get divorced there. Then it becomes single parent household after a while. But he always had his dad around, and he was raised by his dad initially. You see, that's kind of what's going on there. Is it on Rumble? Okay, shout out to Rumble. So when I say he's banned from all social media platforms, I'm about like the big dogs. He's still on Rumble, places like that. Shout out to Rumble and BitChute and whatnot for giving everyone a platform. And you know what? What I hope for Rumble is that they host enough people that have been banned or people that have been deplatformed, and then they become a hub in themselves, a big place to go for all kind of content so they can be more successful. That's what I hope for Rumble. So shout out to them. But yeah, so he's going to be on Tucker Carlson. Let me see if I can find the clip right quick. Y'all give me a second. And if you like what you're hearing so far, please give the video a thumbs up. Okay, here we go. Here's a clip right here from Tucker. And he says, who is Andrew Tate? Banned from every platform in the world, but not us. We'll talk to him Thursday night at 8 p.m. Eastern on Fox News Channel. Hold on.
But when they go to cancel you, ladies and gentlemen, it comes hard and fast. You lose your Facebook, then your Instagram, then your Gmail, then your Discord, then your website hosting, then your
Gmail. Oh my goodness, really? Your website hosting, all that kind of stuff? Crazy.
Domain name. Like then your payment processor, then your bank. Then like it's just like in real time you're watching your phone and apps just exploding. Boom, boom, boom. But when
that's crazy. I mean, to get banned from Instagram is one thing, but I feel like it should be a civil rights issue if you get banned from your bank. I can't even exist anymore as a person. I'm being unpersoned. And you see, this is what they kind of want when you're talking about electric vehicles. And did you hear that California will ban the sale of new gas cars by 2035? The entire state of California will ban the sale of new gas cars by 2035. That's only about 13 years from now. It's not very long. It'd be before you know it. Okay. But imagine you can't even use your bank account anymore. Your debit card stops working. Your credit card starts working. What did I hurt somebody? Did I kill somebody? Like what did I do? Because I have wrong opinions. I have things that you disagree with. I've not hurt anybody. I'm not committed a crime. Like, what are we doing? That's crazy.
When they go to cancel you, ladies and gentlemen, it comes hard and fast. you lose your Facebook, then your Instagram, then your Gmail, then your Discord, then your website hosting, then your domain name, like then your payment processor, then your bank. Then like it's just like in real time, you're watching your phone and apps just exploding. Boom, boom, boom.
It does happen though. I've heard about that happening. People lose their bank account, their credit card, the debit card stops working, all that stuff. It's like somebody said, it's like China. It's like China. You know, you violate social credit, people don't like you, and they give you a bad rating. Now you can't even get on the airplane and fly. It's like, am I on a watch list for what? What did I do? What crime have I committed? If I've not committed a crime, it shouldn't be legal to take my bank from me. Or if I've not violated a policy of the bank, okay, check it out. I've not done any kind of fraud. I've not done anything like that. So why am I frozen out of my account? I need my money to be able to eat and pay bills and whatnot. That's crazy. Yeah, it's nuts. So now Steve-O, that's a good question. What on earth did he do to warrant this? All he did was just say some things that are unpopular about women, basically. Matter of fact, I got one video that I showed earlier. I showed it a couple of times on the stream, but I'm gonna show it one more time for you guys that have not seen it. All he did was just say some things that were unpopular about women and become very popular at doing it. See, there's a bunch of guys on YouTube that have takes that are the same as his or even quote unquote worse. More quote unquote misogynistic than him. But they're not going to get banned from everything because they're not as popular as he is. See, he became so wildly popular, it became a problem to a lot of people. Then that became a political issue. You got NGOs talking about him, pressuring YouTube and all these places. They want to threaten to protest them over him. So then it becomes, okay, we are X, Y, and Z company, and we have this guy on our platform, whether it be a bank, social media, whatever it is, he can't be here because that's going to make us look bad PR wise. But it's like, okay, I understand the PR part, but meanwhile, you have my money and I need my money. So what are we doing? You're going to unperson me because it looks bad for you in PR. That's all that's going on, which shouldn't be a thing that could happen, but it is what it is. So here's something that he said on Dave Portnoy, and Dave Portnoy, I don't know what he was on. I don't know what this guy is on. Like I've seen some of his stuff speaking about Dave Portnoy from Barstool. I thought it was okay, but right here, is he a feminist? Is he LGBT? Like what's going on? So here is Dave Portnoy speaking to Andrew Tate about women, and this right here kind of encapsulates what he does, what he says, speaking about Andrew Tate. And from this, you'd be able to kind of understand. It's not that bad, but people get offended and then make a big stink when you become very popular.
Off the top of my head.
Cool. Well, let me tell you, this is a Western phenomenon. And it's truly and utterly Western. If you were to go on a date in America, you'd have a girl sitting there trying to tell you she's your equal. If you were to go on a date in Moscow, you'd have a girl sitting there going, my man needs to take care of me. I want him to take care of me. I'll do my job, but he must protect and provide for me. So it's a Western phenomenon, right? It depends where you go. It depends. And this whole idea of this obsession with equality is a truly Western thing. And I don't think it's particularly healthy or important. I don't look at a woman thinking, is she my equal? Is she below me? Is she above me? I don't do that. I sit with a woman and we either enjoy each other's company or we don't. But I know my roles as a man. I believe that as a man, I should pay for the first date. I believe I should open the car door. I believe I should protect her, provide for her. I believe if she's my woman, she should be able to come to me with her problems and I should fix them. That makes me a sexist and a horrible person. Fine.
It doesn't. I agree with everything you just said, but I also think
by extension,
she can have a higher IQ than me.
Okay, so by extension, right? Because this is what happens. You agree with the baseline. Everyone agrees with the foundations of what I say, but when I build on top of it, they try and pretend it's sexist. By extension, if I have authority over her, if I have responsibility over her, I apologize. If I have responsibility, which I have, I'm paying for things, I'm making sure she's safe, I'm driving her, I'm taking out the car, etc. If I have responsibility over her, then I must have a degree of authority. For the same reason, if I have responsibility over, and everyone's going to lose their mind, it's an example, it's only an analogy. If I have responsibility over a child, I have to have some authority. You cannot be responsible for something that doesn't listen to you. You can't be responsible for a dog if it doesn't obey you, or a child if it doesn't obey you, or a woman doesn't obey you.
The super sexist path.
It's not sexist to say I'm responsible
just said
for her.
If you compared a woman to a dog and a baby.
Yeah, and I knew that was going to be. That's why I said everyone's going to lose their mind. It's just
maybe pick some better ones then if you want the women to listen to you.
Then I can't be responsible. Then cool. Let's take a beautiful sports car. It doesn't matter. A house, land, whatever. Whatever I'm responsible for, I have to have a degree of authority over. You can't sit there and say you're responsible for
it. But where the disconnect is going is you start with the baseline, but at one point during this conversation, not to go circular, you were saying there's studies that women physically can't be as smart as men. I Google it. It's wildly untrue. The number one fucking IQ was a woman.
Okay, so that's kind of what you're able to get from what's going on. And pardon the cursing, that's just Dave Portnoy being Dave Portnoy. But yeah, so I mean, what he said was correct. People can disagree with how he phrased it, but what he's saying was correct. It's like, look, if I'm going to do all of this stuff for you, which I'm happy to do it, no problem. I'm gonna be a perfect gentleman. It can't just be a one-sided thing. You gotta give and I give. It's give and give. That's really it. Give and take. You give, I take. I give, you take. That's how it's gonna be. But because of the whole baby and the dog, you won't focus on that. And that's kind of how a lot of things happen on the internet. There's no context. I love context because you get the full picture of what's going on. The headline for that would be, Andrew Tate says women are like dogs. That'd be the headline. But you totally ignore the part where he says, I honor a woman, I protect a woman, I love a woman. All of that you just totally ignore. You focus on that one little part where you're talking about how you got to have authority to be able to protect. That's it. And stuff like that is the reason why people are upset. And the reason why he got banned is because he's very popular doing that. Millions of followers, people talk about him, they follow him. He has too much of an impact saying stuff like that, which is true, but could be offensive to some people. That's all. That's all that it is. Yep. He got banned for that, yes. Not just for that, but stuff like that. He's been around for a long time talking about different things. There's some allegations against him talking about he's a human trafficker. There's allegations, but nothing proven. You see, you're able to say somebody did something without proving it. Oh, he did this. Where's the evidence at? Where's the conviction at? Does that exist? I might not like all of what he says, but he should have the right to be able to say it. Just because I don't agree with it does not mean that he should get banned. But that's what it is. So he could be more delicate, but you see, the thing is, not everybody's going to be delicate like that. People have different ways being able to communicate. Now, his way is more harsh and in your face, and some people are going to be more flowery and nice, and that's just what it is. And you know, the funny part about that is a lot of times the flowery and nice people, delivery wise, behind closed doors or something else. Oh man, like I've seen some things and some stuff behind closed doors that would blow your mind. It'd make you be like, what? Really? They think like that? Oh yeah. Oh yeah. Like I watched that show on Amazon called The Boys, and it's getting kind of woke now on the third season. I might stop watching it. But one thing you got to look out for is when they have these little meetings and the way they talk. I see a lot of that type of stuff in real life in these meetings behind closed doors. It's much different than what you would think. If you don't know about their world, if you think that everybody's the same way that they are on camera, off camera, nah, no, not at all. I mean, I done heard people in the church cussing, everything. Politicians, they, of course, they're going to be crazy, but people that claim to be all high and mighty, cussing, acting the complete stone cold fool behind closed doors, drinking, drugging, all of that. But I digress. The Atlanta mass shooting. I almost forgot about that one. I got to get a little bit of that out right now. Okay. So there was I guess you would say, mass shooting in Atlanta. Maybe it wasn't a mass shooting. There were 3 people who got shot. 2 of them have died so far. The third person is in ICU fighting for his life. May you get well soon, sir. And to those who died, may you guys rest in peace. This is pretty crazy because it happened right there by Colony Square at this condo called 1280 West, right there on 1280 West Peachtree, right there by Spring Street, 14th Street, Midtown. If you know about Atlanta, you know what I'm talking about. I go there a lot right there in Midtown to the taco spot in Colony Square. There's also a Viet spot right there, a nice food spot, beautiful place. They'll have art shows right there. It's like a gay area a little bit too, so they got all kind of other stuff going on that I don't participate in. Like Midtown is cool, but I'm not always there. I'm like elsewhere when I go to Atlanta. But anyway, different story. It's a really nice area. Walkable. It's pretty safe. Daytime especially. The dope fiends are to a minimum. There's not too many of them out there in the daytime. It's pretty cool, safe, family friendly, whatever. But anyway, this woman, 34 years old from Cameroon, an African woman who's been in Georgia for quite a while, she shot people that she targeted to shoot because one of them was a building manager of the condo where she lived. The other guy worked at her former employer. And the other guy she shot, I think, worked in the building that she lived in. He might have been a technician or something. Maintenance guy. So she shot all these people and was able to get away, not on the MARTA, but I thought it was on the MARTA. The MARTA is a train, like an above ground train in Atlanta. Not on the MARTA. She called a cab and was able to get into the cab and go to Hartsfield-Jackson Airport from Midtown. It's probably about 20 minutes away. Now, here's the crazy part. The cab driver is a guy that she already knows because she called a cab before, and they're both from Cameroon, so they had a connection that way. Okay, you're from Cameroon, you calling the cab. Okay, cool. I know you already. So it wasn't a random person. She didn't have blood on her. She wasn't, sweating or acting crazy. She was very normal and calm. Now, this right here, I don't play the whole mental health card too much because it's a get out of jail free card. Oops, I done shot 3 people. Mental health, don't send me to jail. No, I don't want to hear that. You're going to the penitentiary, ma'am. You're going to Gitmo, Big Rocks, Little Rocks. But when she got into the cab, she was totally calm, cool, collected. Like nothing happened. You killed 2 people, shot 3 of them, and immediately afterwards, you get into the cab and go to Hartsfield-Jackson like it ain't nothing going on. And I think what happened was she went to somewhere in Marietta first. So Midtown, you got to go up to Marietta and then back down to Hartsfield-Jackson. Okay? She goes to Marietta first to a lawyer's house, but the lawyer was not home. Then she get back in the cab and goes to Hartsfield-Jackson because he had to get a ride from there. So she agrees to go to the airport, which is the worst thing for her because you're going to have all the authorities in Atlanta right there at the airport. That's where they're going to be at anyway. As soon as she got to the airport, she gets arrested. Now, I have video of this whole situation. There's an interview from the cab driver. He has no idea when she gets in the car who she is. And when she's in the car, people are calling his phone from dispatch saying, hey, is there a woman in the car with you? Does she have on a striped shirt, a briefcase? Is she sweating real heavy? What's going on? Hold on. Let me see if I can find the clip.
So let's start with that new video tonight.
All right, hold on. Pause. There we go. Let's play this.
A woman accused of shooting 3 people in Midtown, taking a taxi to the airport where she was arrested. You see her right there in the back passenger seat in a striped shirt. And also new tonight, we do have the phone calls between police and her taxi driver with her still in the car. The driver described her as calm and collected even shortly after police say she killed 2 people. Channel 2's Ashley Lincoln is live in Midtown Atlanta where the taxi cab driver says he picked her up right after those shootings. Ashley?
Yeah, Wendy, that taxi cab driver telling us he's just stunned by the developments of this case. He says Monday afternoon, this entire area behind me, heavy police presence. But despite that police presence, he says that woman was able to walk a couple of blocks away to this hotel here on 14th and Juniper Street, where
I've been there before. I recognize the hotel. Yep.
she went inside this hotel and requested a cab.
This is a big story.
That taxi cab driver, Patrick Mendu, says he never thought he would be a part of.
I don't know how I got involved on this.
He tells me Monday afternoon he thought it was a normal passenger pickup from a Midtown hotel on 14th Street.
I'm the last person who was really with her, and I spoke with her for a long time.
The passenger turned out to be Raisa Kegney, who's also a regular of Mendu's.
This lady, she's always calm.
This is dash cam video of Kegney getting into his cab.
And I look again, I knew that was her.
Telling me that someone just had murdered 3 people and they think they're in the back of one of our cabs.
And this exclusive audio clip between Atlanta police and the dispatch team for Checker Cab, where Mendu works, you can hear police asking the driver about this passenger. Kegney could not hear this conversation.
Is she a black female with a suitcase? Yes, sir, listen to me. Is she breathing hard? Is she sweating? No.
The company says police reached out to them asking if drivers picked up a woman wearing a striped shirt. At the time, police say she was accused of shooting and killing 2 people and injuring another in Midtown.
Send some type of a signal whether the black female with a striped shirt, low afro, is in the vehicle with him. If they picked up a fare at 14th and Juniper, and be discreet about it.
Mendu says Kegney is from his hometown of Cameroon.
I'm still shocked that she...
Hometown? Okay, go ahead.
Did that.
He says after picking her up from that hotel, they went to a home on Robin Hood Road in Midtown. She told him it was her lawyer's home.
Are you running from something? No, you safe.
From there, they went to the airport.
Nah, you're safe. Don't worry about it. I ain't gonna shoot you.
When they arrived, she paid the $48 fare with a $100 bill.
Do I have change?
This is body cam video of Kegney's arrest after police were able to track her to the airport.
Now, okay, she actually was able to get inside the airport and go to the international terminal. So where are you going? You going back to Cameroon? You see what I'm saying? And she had the gun on her in the airport, so that could have been real bad. She had the gun. She had the gun on her. Well, it probably was in the bag. So it might not have been on her person in the vehicle. Probably was in the bag, but the gun was in her bag on her somewhere because they recovered it during their arrest. It was crazy, but this story will not be on the media. Why? As I said in the video earlier, there's too many factors that don't exist. There's no AR-15, no big bad scary rifle. There's no white male shooter. There's no non-white victims. The 2 guys that have died are both white men. So there's no element for the media to be able to pick up on. And it's Atlanta, and she's black. There's nothing you can really do with it. You put it in the category of regular violence. Although it's not regular violence, it was really deep. She had an issue with the property management and also her former employer. So she kills the property manager and one of her former colleagues at her former employer. She was talking about her former employer broke into her house. They spoofed her phones, hacked her laptop, all kind of crazy stuff. She said that the property management was preventing her from being able to from being able to get mail from Georgia Power, and that prevented her from being able to pay the bill because she didn't get the mail. You see what I'm saying? They cut the power off, but she's like, yo, I didn't get the mail because you guys were blocking it. It was a lawsuit going on. There's all kind of stuff happening. So she decides that the police can't help. Nobody's going to help me because what she was saying was ridiculous and crazy. I'm posting on LinkedIn these long tirades about my former employer, my property management. All right, I'm going to go ahead and kill him. That's what happened. And that all happened within like a few minutes right there in Midtown during the daytime with people around, kids and everything else. It's crazy. but you don't know anything about it because it doesn't really fit the narrative. Now, if it had been the other way around as far as the racist, let's say that there were 3 black people that got killed and 1 white male shooter. Oh my goodness. You would hear about this nonstop all day long. That's all you would ever hear about is this particular story and nothing else. Right? But yeah, if there's any updates to the story, I'll follow up with it. I might put it on my community section, or I may do another video. But that's pretty much what's going on with that. Again, 34 years old, Raisa Kikne from Cameroon, living in Georgia for quite a while, killed her former coworker, her property manager, and a guy worked in the building, just an innocent bystander. They're all innocent, but I'm saying the one guy may have been a target, may not have been a target. It's crazy. Oh, and something else. Definitely a sociopath, Marlene. But she also was in court, and the judge was like, hey, Miss Kikne, stop talking. And she just wouldn't stop. Like, she'd be like, okay, but. And there was a video of her talking to the police about the case before the whole shooting happened. About her, she said that she had been burglarized. When she was talking, the police were calm and didn't say a word, let her get her piece out. But when the police started talking, she kept over talking them, interrupting, was not trying to actually listen. So yeah, she's got some issues up there, but there's no excuse to go out there and kill people. She's going to the penitentiary for a long time, hopefully. Hopefully there's no woke DA out there that wants to give her a slap on the wrist for killing 2 people and injuring the third one, pardon me. So yeah, that's what's going on with that. If you want to see the full taxi ride, the full cab ride, go to 11 Alive's YouTube page. They got it on there. They got it in full on that particular page. All right. We got super chats on deck. I'm a little over my time here. If you like what you're hearing so far, please give the video a thumbs up. Like the video, share the video, do all of that good stuff. That'll help me out tremendously. Thank you to Lancelot for your donations. Lancelot also says, here's a little something for the live. Cheers. Thank you for that. Let me see. Apple says, ABL, you're a self-made man, and then the IRS owes you 5-figure dinero. Yes, they do. Thoughts on Biden forgiving student loans? How would the community respond to paying for white grad students for their gender queer studies? Well, the community is going to like it because they see free money, but they don't understand. The people that like it don't understand how money works. That's all. They have no idea how money works. Now, I'm not saying all of the community is going to respond like that, but most people in the community are going to respond like that because that's the normie way of looking at it. You know, if you're a Democrat voter and a normie, you're going to think that it's good that they're forgiving $10,000, but it's not a good thing. So yeah, forgiving student loans, I'm not for it. It's going to be inflationary, and it's going to be a lateral move at best. It's only being done for, it's only being done for political purposes to try and buy votes again, as they did before. Thank you to TJ Jizzle, who says, ABL with loan forgiveness, all the Democrats are doing is buying votes. Correct. There you go. I just said that. By the time it gets to, quote, us, we won't qualify. There you go. Apple also says, RIP David Espinoza, Nicole G, Darren Hoover, Ryan Noss, Hunter Lopez, Riley McCollum, Dylan Marola, Kareem Nicole. These names are kind of running together. So if I'm saying the wrong thing, please forgive me. Giovanni Pichardo, Humberto Sanchez, Jared Schmitz, Macton Soviet, Dagan Page, Afghan 13. Thank you to Apple again, who says, no Biden administration official has resigned. Democrats, no honor. God bless MAGA J6 Patriots in D.C. jail solitary. Pray for them. 2 convicted in Whitmer federal kidnapping because biased judge. Oh, did they get somebody finally? I thought that was a nothing burger there. The whole Whitmer thing, I thought nobody was convicted. That's interesting. So they had to find somebody, huh? They had to find some patsy to convict, I suppose. Everybody involved with Whitmer was pretty much a Fed. Maybe out of the 18 people, 2 of them were normies that got convicted. That's crazy. Apple says, again, judge would not allow FBI texts as evidence. Of course not, because that would show entrapment. That would show that they were really the ones that were instigating the whole situation. FBI agents got them stoned and planted bomb stuff. Defund corrupt FBI and IRS completely irredeemable. U.S. Marshals raided Amish farmers' organic farm. Why? Why? What's the purpose? Like, what are we even doing? So disappointed. Marshals are part of our deep state. And somebody says, you live stream August 27th or Saturday, stoked for premiere, Uncle Tom 2. I'm going to try to stream that night. We'll see how that happens. I'll probably be back by then, but we'll see. I may or may not stream that night. Hold on. Apple also says, ABL, you ever built anything by wood, done carpentry? I took like a shop class in high school, and we built sheds and stuff like that. We built sheds and smaller things, but the main thing we built was a shed. And I've done other little small things with wood, nothing really major. But yeah, the biggest thing I built was a shed in high school. Also, ABL and dad and granddad favorite boxer, Ali Frazier, Foreman. That's a good question. I really don't know. For me, I like Tyson still. Tyson was my guy. TJ Jizzle says, ABL is white debt different than black debt? He spelled it differently, so I couldn't really read it. Is white debt different than black debt? Loan debt is loan debt regardless. It's debt is debt. Apple also says most blame for COVID, CCP, Fauci, Democrats, Big Pharma, Gates, China. They're the ones to blame. Right behind that, you got to blame Dr. Doom. And not necessarily just him, but the NIH, because they're the ones that funded it. The NIH funded the research over in Wuhan, and then Wuhan let it out accidentally. I think it's a NFCin. The name is not spelled how I can pronounce it, so pardon me. NFXION says, read history of Central Bacon, learn the facts about why we have today and who controls our nations. Blast Radius says, Jeb Bush and Mitt Romney were terrible candidates, and it looks like this GOP establishment deliberately put these cucks out there to lose because they secretly love the DNC. Yeah, maybe so. That gets Willie Leon, who says, Andrew Tate got banned for what he said about Putin's thoughts on Trump. Look it up at Please ABL. Okay, I'll check it out. Michael Guest also says, again, these are 4 words you never hear a Democrat politician say. I will take full responsibility, or I take full responsibility. 4 words. Willie Leon says, Tate said Putin commented on Trump and how he got stuff done because he didn't follow the guys in, quote, black suits. Trump was the most effective through 3 presidents. Tate was friends with Trump Jr. as well. Okay, that makes sense there. Why he would, try to get him out of the way. And thank you to Araya Public Insurance Justin, who says, interesting fact, there were 85,000 U.S. soldiers at the Battle of Gettysburg that beat the entire Confederate Army, 2,000 less than the IRS is hiring. Crazy. Crazy, crazy, crazy. That's going to be more than the Border Patrol and all kind of organizations combined. But I guess we need more IRS agents than Border Patrol because the border's wide open, right? So we ain't worried about that. We can let all the fentanyl come in, the human trafficking come in. Oh, before I get to the calls, now there was a video of border agents on the border, obviously not trying to be redundant, but they were on the border and there was a scuffle between, I think, 3 agents and 1 person that appeared to be a human trafficker, right? Now, when this video came out, I was like, okay, they're probably going to call that brutality because this came out right after a video of some police officers in Arkansas somewhere beating this guy up on the sidewalk. They took his head and bashed it. The guy lived. He was okay. But the video looked bad. And right away people said, oh, police brutality. I'm like, can we get more context? Can you figure out what's going on? This guy could have been a child trafficker. We have no idea what's happening with this situation. We see a video, 15 seconds, and say, police brutality, go to Gitmo, big rocks, little rocks, right? So when I saw this one, I was like, yep, they're going to say police brutality. And the federales are now investigating this video right here. So this video right here, they're investigating it. Okay. So they got the guy detained, but they're going to show more. So there's one guy that got detained, but then they got another guy that's trying to get on the ground. Now this right here is in Tijuana, San Diego, and the guy has on a wetsuit. He swam across the border right there on the beach, Imperial Beach, I guess that's what it is. He swam across and crossed illegally. Now he's trying to be detained. Now he's being detained by Border Patrol. Now you're hearing a crowd because there's a large crowd on the opposite side of the fence on the Tijuana side, right? And they're watching all this go down. So the Border Patrol officer has like a baton or a stick, and he's swinging it at the guy, and the guy in the wetsuit is like trying to charge him, trying to approach him. But there's other agents around that can get him on the ground, and they're going to eventually get him. But this right here is being investigated by the FBI. Now, what I see is great restraint, because they could have just, ran up on him and just start beating him. I see great restraint. Then he gets tackled by a guy from behind, and now you have 3 guys on him, getting him subdued. So this right here is brutality, and the federales are investigating. It's crazy. It's going to get to the point where you're not going to want to be a Border Patrol agent or police officer or anything like that. The military are having problems with their recruitment. They are having a hard time being able to get anybody to join. Same thing, maybe probably Border Patrol, police, because you can't do anything. That's like basic high school fight stuff. You can't even do that anymore without going to the penitentiary. It's crazy. So yeah, that's kind of what's going on. My man had on a wetsuit because he was swimming. Now, I've seen these illegal aliens wearing ghillie suits in the desert, wetsuits in the water. It's like, come on, man. I'm not buying the whole poor, tired, looking for a better life. What kind of starving migrant has a ghillie suit, a wetsuit? They're going to pull up in a Lamborghini with butterfly doors on the border talking about, yeah, I'm poor and hungry. I mean, come on, man. Open your eyes, please. If you're watching this and you think that they're coming to the border, they're starving, they're hungry, please stop. Please, please, please stop. No more. I don't want to hear it no more. But let's get to the calls. The number to call is 434-658-1220. Again, 434-658-1220. Hold on. Before I get to the call, I gotta show the ghillie suit if you've not seen it. If you don't know what the ghillie suit is, I gotta show it. I must. Hold on. I gotta and they, of course they won't let me show it here. Ghillie suit border. I gotta find this right now. Oh, here we go. So check it out. Ghillie suits. So they're blending into the environment. I mean, come on, man. How much does that cost? Do you think these ghillie suits are free or inexpensive? I mean, really. Come on, man. Cell phones, ghillie suits, wetsuits, cars, cash, drugs, all of that. Gold chains, watches. I don't want to hear anything else about these people. I don't want to hear nothing about no poverty or nothing crazy like that. Ghillie, look at this one more time. I mean, I'll leave it right there. Y'all can deal with y'all can Put that in your pipe and smoke it. I'm through with it for now. Yeah, they're trying to blame. They're trying to blend into the environment. Sticking through the desert. Oh, you can't see me. I got a ghillie suit on. You can't see me. Funded terrorists. Yeah, you're right about that, NKM. They probably are funded terrorists. I wouldn't doubt it. You know what I mean? That's what people that are in the military may wear when they want to invade your country. So to be not called an invasion, if it's not an invasion, then I can't tell. Okay, for real. Let's get to the calls. 434-658-1220. We're going to do it this time, I promise. Let them all in, huh? I think not. I think not. We're not going to be able to do it. All right, let's go ahead and get rocking. 918, you're on the line. Who am I speaking to?
Hey, well, how you doing, buddy? It's AB. It's JB from Oklahoma.
All righty, man. What's going on?
Good. I'm good. And I know there's a lot of talk about the border tonight, actually, and I had a story that I've been wanting to tell, but I've been kind of holding it back. But I think it's a good time to tell it. Actually, my best friend of over 22 years, from a very small town in Kansas. I mean, I'm talking like 100 people. That's all. He died last year from a fentanyl overdose. Mm. Yeah, because I knew he liked his pills, liked his Valiums and Xanax and all that stuff. But then, that God, I want to cuss so bad, but I'm not going to. Respect your show.
I hear you.
Yeah. The way the fentanyl has just gotten into everywhere in this country, to little towns all over the place. And I called his house one day, and I was going to call him, like, hey, Cameron, come over and hang out. Because we were just great buddies, and his grandma answered the phone, and she's like, Cameron's dead. Mm. And I was like, what? I mean, it was the shock of my life. I mean, it was horrible. Yeah. I mean, so that fentanyl crap is getting all over the country, in every state, every town. And you know whose fault it is? It's China. It's Alejandro Mayorkas, and it's Joe Biden.
Yeah.
They all got blood on their hands. They are responsible for my friend's death.
Yeah, man. I'm sorry to hear that. It's terrible that happened. But I think you're right about who's to blame, because, I mean, the southern border is not just about these people that are trying to come over because they're facing hardships. Like, you having the drugs just wash across, and it's the streets are flooded with it. It's so easy to access it, and it's so deadly. And it's taken so many American lives. Like, it's to the point now where they say that fentanyl is leading cause of death for all Americans aged 18 to 49. Beyond heart disease and car accidents and everything else, it's fentanyl. It's really, really sad.
Yeah. And he was like 44 years old. He was a healthy man, And yeah, he got a hold of some stuff that had fentanyl laced in it, and it killed him.
Yeah.
So Joe Biden, Mayorkas, and China, they are murderers. That's all I'm going to say. I was listening to you tonight and all the talk about the border and everything, and I got to thinking about that, and it upsets me. I miss my man. He was a great friend.
I hear you, man.
All right, buddy. Well, I love you, man. I love your show and everyone here. So just keep doing what you're doing, buddy.
Thank you for the call, man. Appreciate you.
All right, man.
Yeah, that's rough, man. It really is. All right, Sreet, what's going on?
Hey, ABL, what's going on, man? What's happened to Andrew Tate is really tragic, man. And you can see there's definitely a war on masculinity, man. Because if you notice, people who typically get deplatformed, I mean, it all started. It's typically men. They started off with Alex Jones, and they banned Trump. It's always outspoken men, and Andrew Tate said something key. I think he was on a Fresh and Fit podcast, and he said whenever there's a war, what you always want to do is you want to take out all the men. Once you weaken the men, the society becomes weak, and you can just run in the village and you can rape all the women and kill all the kids and things like that. I think that's what's going on in America now. They're not physically killing men, but they are really attacking men for like speaking up against new ideas that can challenge the status quo. And they understand that they have no way to rebut these ideas. So what you want to do is you want to call them toxic. You want to cancel them, and you don't want to have a debate for ideas. And if you look at Hassan Campbell, I mean, what was that? Not Hassan. What is that guy named? Young Turk's cousin,
Piker.
Yeah. That clown, and then H3. What angers me about these clowns and these other feminists and these other, some people in the LGBT community, what angers me is that when they speak on Tate, they say things like he's harmful to young men. And I'm just curious, what do these clowns do for young men? When do they ever say anything positive about young men? They always call them toxic. They always degrade them. They always down talk them. They do nothing for young men. They say nothing. That you can't even find a charity that they've ever donated to young men. So why in the world do these feminists, people from the LGBT communities and these liberal men all of a sudden care about young men? They don't. They understand the war. Their job is to silence men because they don't want any type of pushback against their ideology. It really is a war on the masculinity, and it's really an ideological battle because it's usually liberals with this cancellation mentality. Why can't they debate? Well, the reason why they can't debate is because none of their arguments hold water. They have to cheat. They have to silence you. And what they do is they will have, take for example, the Democrats, let's say if they controlled everything and there was a supermajority, they will make sure that the Supreme Court has nothing but liberals on it, and they will pass a whole bunch of unpopular policies because they know if this was debated, it would never pass. So yeah, that's what's going on with Andrew Tate, man. We got these fake people who act like they care about men but have a track record of doing nothing for men, screaming to Instagram and these social media companies who are sadly ran by liberals, and they just have the power to just take you out, man. They don't want a society full of thinking, capable young men, man. They do like it when we are drones, when we sit there and we just play around all day. We're not trying to better our lives because it poses no threat. There can never be a civil war and an uprising, a change in a radical change in ideological beliefs if men are sleeping. That's just the bottom line. And sadly, that's what's going on with Andrew Tate, man. And I don't know if you saw his apology video. Did you see that? It was like an hour long.
I saw probably about 10 minutes of it. I saw the beginning of it.
Yeah, I think that's a smart move, man. The only thing is that he ought to understand is I don't think Instagram. It's sad, man, because even if none of these allegations are proven true, they're never going to let him back on the platform. He can donate to, many female charities, domestic abuse charities against women. They're never going to let him back on the platforms. And I do hope he understands that it's simply because he poses a threat to the system. Andrew Tate, he understands foreign policy. He spoke up against how Ukraine kept poking the Russian bear, things of that nature. Politically speaking, if a lot of young men listens to him, that will pose a problem to liberals. And, this is just what I want conservatives to understand, man. There is a war on us, and we have to be vigilant. That's why when it comes to voting, we can't just be like sitting out. We need to get these Trump Republicans in. We need to get even women in. Anybody who is outspoken, who is attacked by the system, we need to get in. And just this last point, man, typically, man, have you ever seen a point in history where there's a people protesting against corruption, protesting the system, and the media and the government is on their side, supporting them? Have you ever seen that happen in history?
I don't believe so.
That's never happened. I say that because, when you get these clowns like Black Lives Matter and liberals protest and Antifa, how is it that we have politicians supporting them? How is it that the media supporting them? How is it that we have government officials ready to get them, bail them out of jail? But then when conservatives protest, we get the full force of the law on us, investigations, homes get raided, lives get ruined. That's because we are on the right side of history. We are the ones that are upsetting the system. This is why Trump can't even barely get any lawyers to sue the Justice Department, because they see him as a threat. And yeah, man, we just got to wake up, because I feel like a civil war is coming, man. And I think there's only so much we can take with this one-way justice, man. And that's all I got to say, man.
Thank you for the call, man. Appreciate you.
All right, take care.
Well, very well said. Very, very well said. Could say no better myself. Hold on one second. All right, I'm back. Hold on. I'm back. I thought I was hearing things, but it's all good and no problems. Let's get to some more calls. Let's go to Jordan. What's going on?
Long time no see, old man.
Yeah, man. What's going on?
Yeah, nothing much. You look 20 years older now.
I know, man. I'm old. It is what it is.
Yeah. So about the student loan forgiveness that's happening, one of the things that really frustrates me about this whole student loan thing is that we keep kicking the bucket down until we produce a lot of garbage that we can't even fix because it's just too much. And I think that's what we've done with student loans. We never really addressed why college is so expensive to begin with. And it results from the loans themselves. Because now that the government is involved and they can pay for people's education at their own will, universities see this and then they say, well, let's just jack up our prices with frivolous stuff and they'll give us even more money. It's basically become a business at this point. And this forgiveness plan, from what I can tell, is just temporary. We're going to go back to where we were like a few years from now.
Yeah, like really, it's the federal government. They're the reason why it costs so much to attend college, because the loans are guaranteed. Like you said, if you're at college, you could just charge whatever you want. You have a blank check, because the person, the borrower is not really the one that's going to pay it necessarily. The government will pay it. Now the government has got to work out how they're going to get the money back from the borrower.
Yeah, that's the thing that right. Because Biden keeps talking about, anyone who makes under $400K a year won't have to pay an extra dime in taxes. And with all these policies coming out, and with like the Congressional Budget Office and the Joint Commission for Taxation coming out and saying stuff contrary to that, I don't know if I don't think he's telling the truth when he keeps saying that.
Nah, he's saying things that it could be considered true if he goes to court, but when you actually look at the reality on the ground, it's not going to be what he's saying. It's like a lawyer talking to you. They may say things that are true, but it's not really true.
Yeah, and also for all those people that are getting their student debt forgiven, anyone who does have less than $10,000 in student debt, don't be surprised when April comes and you end up getting your tax statements and you get like a negative number in refunds.
Oh.
Because student loan forgiveness is taxable.
Oh, is that right?
Yep. They can actually tax whatever you ended up being forgiven on when the time comes. So I think that's the biggest unsaid thing that is happening with regards to these forgiving these loans.
That's crazy. That's totally crazy. And people they're not ready for it, because all they're going to hear is student loan forgiveness, I don't have to pay anymore. Then they get a tax bill probably, or they might not get their tax returns. Like, hey, where's the money at? No, it's taxable. You didn't see the fine print. So they basically they took some of your debt, which you really don't care about because that's not active money, but they gave you a bill, or they took some of your money you would get back in cash. You probably want to have the cash more than the debt removed, but that's business, I suppose.
Pretty much so, and on top of everyone else's tax dollars to pay off these loans too, because I mean, this thing is going to be worth like over $300 billion, and who's going to pay for that? Well, I mean, not even the rich can pay for that.
Right, exactly.
They're going to squeeze the middle class and the poor for money, but people think about the now. They don't think about the future. They don't think about anything else other than, oh look, Bernie Sanders canceled student debt, hooray, that type of thing.
Exactly.
And also about Andrew Tate, because I won't be on here for too long. He came up so fast, and then he got blocked so fast. It's amazing. Because long after Kevin Samuels passed away, rest in peace, you had a bunch of people trying to fill that void that he left. So like Kendra G, Mediocre Tutorial and Reviews, those people. And then this guy just comes up and like skyrockets everybody because of what he said. And people notice this and they shut him down immediately. They see him as like a huge threat. It's really funny.
Of course, that's how it works. But he's been around for a long time. But he became very popular after Kevin Samuels died, when that void was left. And they like, oh, we can't have this. We can't have Kevin Samuels Part 2. We can't have that. So let's go ahead and block him right now. That's kind of part of it.
Yeah, that's it. Well, I mean, except he's not Kevin Samuels.
He's not exactly.
What he says, the way he goes about things and what he says is a lot more in your face than even Kevin Samuels.
Yes, correct.
So, but I mean, I will admit some of his stuff can be a little, iffy sometimes. Like for example, he said that if he had a girlfriend that had an OnlyFans or a wife that had an OnlyFans account, that he would like 80% of what he got or what she got from OnlyFans.
That he would like 80% of what she got?
Yeah.
Meaning what, like the money, or like, I don't understand.
The money.
Oh, okay. I got it. I got it.
But he's, I don't know, I just considered him like a guy that, the own the libs type person. And it's really hilarious for him to see him do what he does. But it sucks that they took him off like that. I hate it. It only gives more attraction to him, the Streisand effect,
Right.
Yeah. But that's it for me. I just came because I haven't been on this show in over a year. So I'm back. I got me a job. I'm getting me some income in my own house, that stuff. That's been going on with me.
Good to hear it, man. Glad you got things going. So I'm good to see you back.
Yeah, I'll be back. I'll be on here more frequently now since I got the time now. So expect me to come in subsequent episodes.
All righty, man. Well, thank you for joining. Appreciate you.
Not a problem. Peace.
Peace. All right. Shout out to Jordan for the call. Appreciate him. Let's get to some more calls here. All right. Skype caller. Who am I speaking to?
Oh, hello.
Can you hear me?
Oh, I can hear you. Hi, ABL. Stanley from London. How you doing, mate?
It's all good, man. How about yourself?
Yeah, good, thanks. Thanks for taking my call, man.
No problem.
Yeah, so Fauci, he's resigned, right?
Yeah, he's resigned. It's going to be effective in December.
Oh, man. So does that mean science is resigned then, I guess?
I guess science has left the building.
Oh, what are we going to do now from now on? That's it. It's over, isn't it? But, so what do you think? Do you think him and Brian Stelter will be new sort of hosts on The View or something, maybe?
Hey, that'll probably be the best place for them to go. Go ahead and go to The View and replace whoever's on there. Yeah, go do that. That'd be fantastic for them.
And all they need really is 2 pair of wigs, isn't it? And then it'll fit right in. I mean, especially that Brian guy.
Oh yeah, put a wig on him. That's Anna Navarro.
Yeah, exactly. Oh man, so any like update on the FBI raid? I mean, have they found any more toilet paper down the loo, or what's going on with that?
Nothing really, nothing major. I mean, But I think everybody knew that it was going to be political from the beginning because of the midterms coming up, and they don't want Trump to announce he's going to run without any kind of controversy. It's all political. They're not going to find anything.
Yeah, to be honest, like I just see it as another smear campaign. They're just constantly flinging dirt, at his face, and hopefully one piece of dirt will stick. You know what I mean? They're just like sort of crossing their fingers, hoping that people. I mean, the thing is liberals in general, they're gonna just believe everything that obviously someone says against Trump, in it if it's negative. So you can't really help that.
Oh, of course.
But I think people kind of in the middle, I think, who don't really have an opinion either way, I think they're seeing that, and I think it's putting them off. And you're just going to, again, turn people away from the left, really. And they're going to, obviously, I think, see more things from conservative point of view, man. Because I don't think you have to be a genius to work out kind of what's going on with that. And I think some guy called up last time, he was sort of saying, like, oh, why would Trump take, not confidential document, classified documents to his home, and why would he do that to a country? And it's like, do you really think he's that dumb? Like he's going to do that? Like he's going to willingly break the law? You know what I mean? And that's what kind of baffles me.
Yeah, and the thing about it is, if you're the president, you have the ability to declassify any documents. You could do that, like if you're the president. So the whole thing was a witch hunt from the beginning, and he was talking to the feds about how to secure certain documents and what kind of room to have them in and what kind of lock to have them behind. There was all that stuff going on. So all of this was unnecessary to do. There was no need for a raid. They could have given them a subpoena, a basic one, but it's no need for that, really. It's all just a political thing. And the average normie is not really going to understand that. All they know is he got raided.
Yeah, see, that's what gets me, is like it could have just been done privately, right? Behind closed doors between each other, couldn't it?
Yes, it could have been.
It's like, that's what I mean. Like, why wasn't it just, why did it have to be out in the open and all the media and all the FBI kick the door down, break the lock that they sort of told him to put on it? So now everyone's sort of talking about it. And it's just like, again, it's just all a load of nonsense in my opinion. Honestly, I don't know how you can sort of buy into it.
Yeah, I agree with you.
Yeah, and this, sorry, I'll be really quick. This border issue, like this open border issue, I don't see how anyone can defend this. I mean, I don't think it should be like just the border issue in general. I don't think it should be a left or right sort of talking point. I feel like it should just be the same as, I guess, how Trump was doing it. And whether the Democrats get in, I don't know why they didn't just continue that, because from what I know, like it was working. So why would they just go in and all of a sudden just completely do like just rip it up and just open? I don't know why they would do that.
I mean, I don't understand either. I think the whole issue with I do understand. It was a campaign promise, really, to have the border wide open. And also maybe they want to bring a bunch of drugs into the country. I don't know. I don't know about the drugs part, because I don't know why you want to destroy your country like that. But I think it was more of a campaign promise, because they don't want to be the ones that turn these so-called migrants away. Although it needs to happen. You can't come into the country illegally. You got to follow the rules.
Exactly, that's it, isn't it? Like, you can debate it all you want, but it's illegal. You're breaking the law. I mean, if you want to get into a country, you have to do it legally, right? Just like everyone else. I mean, get in line.
Exactly.
And I mean, the cartels, they must be making an absolute fortune in this administration. Like, they must be making billions. And
oh yeah,
I don't know why people don't talk about that, about the cartels. I mean, there's serious business in Mexico, man.
Oh yeah, they're making a lot of money, hand over fist, and that doesn't really seem to be of any concern to the administration. For some reason, I don't know. Maybe they get a kickback. I don't know what's going on.
Yeah, it stinks corruption. It stinks backhanders. Money's going into someone's pockets, and I think we know whose. But
that's right.
But anyway, thanks for taking my call, ABL. Appreciate it, and great show. And take care, mate.
Thank you for the call, man. Appreciate you.
Thanks, man. See ya. Bye.
Great call. Shout out to the caller, all the way from UK. Let's go to 781. You're on the line. Who am I speaking to?
Hey, how's it going, ABL?
It's all good, man. What's happening?
Hello?
I hear you.
All right. Let me pause this, because I didn't think you were going to pick up, actually, because I think we're on like a delay where I'm not really seeing that.
Yes.
You're still talking to the birth guy.
Right. Yeah.
Yeah. All right. I'm sorry. Hold on. All right. You surprised me. All right. My name's Anthony. and I finally would love to talk to you.
Well, great name, first of all. And what's on your mind?
All right. The one thing I've been dying to talk about for weeks and weeks now is that, everybody's complaining. They're all saying, we got to get Trump back, and that's great. We got to get Trump back, and I believe in my heart's in it, and I'll do anything to get the man back. But the thing is, we're not going to get Trump or DeSantis or anybody if we don't get rid of the Dominion software, the Dominion voting software. We got to get rid of that, or we're never going to get anybody in.
Now, the thing about the voting, people are kind of disheartened about that because they're listening to certain people saying that it's not going to be fixed. But I think the voting issue could be fixed if you do it on a state-to-state level. Because the good thing about it is it's not a national thing. The voting is not it's not just one thing nationally. It's a state-to-state issue.
That's right.
So I think certain states have taken steps to be able to improve the voting security and the outcomes of the voting. Like where I live, paper ballots, everything's traced, and it's cool. But you may live in a different place where you don't have voter ID and paper ballots. So it's really a state-to-state, maybe even a city-to-city issue that needs to be addressed. So I think if we get down to the local level and fix it there, you have some success. I think a lot of red states have been able to improve their voting security. Some of the blue states, not so much, but definitely the red states.
Yeah. And see, blue states and the Democrats, as I call them, Democrats, they plan things 5 to 10 steps ahead, and they all say what you want about them. They stick together and they plan shit ahead. They do. And they're banking on us just focusing on one thing, Trump, or whatever it is. And we're not realizing, as we're all focusing on fighting in certain ways, debating, whatever, we're not realizing that they already got this all planned out. I hate to sound like a conspiracy theorist, but, hey, conspiracies from 2 years ago are now being looked at today as truth. So they are planned. They are good planners, and they stick together. And I'm telling you right now, if we don't fight this, and I was just about to say this before too, you actually reminded me, I forgot to mention this part, that we got to fight this on a local and state level. You got to get your local political leaders to acknowledge that there's a problem with the voting software. That we're watching them. That we got to watch them like hawks, and we got to fight them, and push them to change it, and push them to improve it. Am I right?
Oh, definitely. That's absolutely correct.
Yeah. Yeah, we can't fight this nationally, but we can fight this state to state, like you said. And I don't hear any talk of this, even where I live in the Boston area. I live in Boston, Massachusetts, and you call up a local radio station and you bring it up, you say the word Dominion, no matter how conservative they are, sorry, I can't talk, they are, they'll change the subject. They'll get you right off it.
Right.
Yeah, they either don't want to fight it or they know that it can't be fought. So you got to get up the butt of the political leaders, and you got to fight. You got to get on them and get them to fix it, get it out of there. Because Soros and his crew, they're banking on the fact that we're not going to fight this. So I'm glad I got the word out. And I'm glad you answered the phone, and I'm very happy that you are talking to me now, because we have no chance in hell unless we get rid of that Dominion voting software.
I hear you, man. Right on.
Yeah, right on indeed, And hey, you're doing a great job, ABL. You really are. You're out there for us all the time, and I do appreciate it. And you put up with a lot, too. I don't know how you do it.
Thank you for the call, man. Appreciate it.
I love I love the beard, by the way. Keep that beard. Don't get rid of it.
Thank you, man. Appreciate you.
Take care, man. All right. Now. Take care. Thank you. Bye-bye.
All right. Shout out to the caller. Good call. Let's go 931. You're on the line. Who am I speaking to?
Oh, I actually made it. How you doing, ABL?
It's all good, man. What's happening?
Brent from Flint, Michigan.
All righty.
Land of the dirty water. I guess I'm going to try to make this quick because I'm actually getting ready for work. I just wanted to shout you out, man. I love everything you do. My Uncle Joan, he kind of got me watching you. I was one of those wokies, blindly fighting for every black problem out here.
Right.
That whole Breonna Taylor thing kind of woke me up. She died in her bed and blah, 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 all that going hard. He's like, I got the facts. Brandon Tatum showed, all that. Once he showed me that whole little document, man, I don't know. I took that red pill, and I've seen everything differently.
Yeah, man. That's that good moment where you get that flash of enlightenment. It's like, oh, okay, that's what's going on right there. I didn't know. So we all have it, man. I'm glad you had yours.
Definitely. I'll be trying to, throw little hints. And I took your advice, with family. You don't want to try to keep getting into it with them. You just want to drop little gems here, little jewels there,
Yeah.
And, man, I just try to, I don't know, I don't cut off a lot of ties with people because once you realize how dumb people really are.
Yeah.
Just kind of, I don't know, man. You got to let them do what they're going to do.
Exactly.
But I wish I could speak a little longer. I've been trying to get in for a few weeks. But I work at GM, so, I got to go get on that line.
That's right.
But everybody have a good time in the chat. Y'all have a good night. You have a good night, man. I hope I can catch you Saturday or next week.
Well, thank you for your call, man. Definitely appreciate you.
Appreciate you.
All right, now.
Bye-bye.
Shout out to the caller. Good call. Yeah, man, that red pill moment, it's a great moment when you get to realize like what's really going on in these streets, in the world. When you see things differently, it's a great moment. 908, you're on the line. Who am I speaking to?
Hi, Anthony. It's Debbie from New Jersey.
All righty, what's going on?
How you doing?
Everything's all right. Can't complain. Just, doing the show.
I like your beard. It's very nice. It's very elegant looking. Hi, everybody. Hi, all the viewers. Listen, I know I haven't spoken to you in a while. I had to take a break from social media. It was just getting too much. It's just trying to save the world, and I can't do that. My best friend is gone, my husband, so I like talking to you guys. But listen, I just wanted to tell everybody, look, I don't know if people know or not, but number one, the CDC loosened its guidelines. Their whole website is totally revamped. Now they're saying vaccinated and vaccinated can be together and we can hug and all be as one. You don't have to social distance anymore. Everything's good and the world is great again. Not. Now they're saying also they changed the guidelines on the shots. Now they're saying they're not FDA approved and they're only good for emergency use only. Okay, so it's crazy. A lot of people are going to be, and the lawsuits are opening up. Just to let people know, on Fox Business News the other day, they advertised 400 healthcare workers in Illinois just got awarded millions and millions of dollars because they lost their jobs due to the vaccination mandate. All right. And the ones that had to get the vaccination, they were also awarded money. And I believe the law firm that's handling stuff now is called Liberty Civil Union or something. You have to look at the article. Washington State University, the head football coach, got fired last year for not taking the mandate. He's suing them for $25 million. Lawsuits are popping up all over the place now. So if anybody lost their job due to this thing, or they took it because they had no choice, you better look into it because they're silencing everybody. And they were silencing me, Anthony, on I couldn't post the VAERS report from the CDC. You know how they're showing about the vaccine injuries?
Yeah.
That number is crazy, but Facebook won't let you do it. I try to do it on Instagram. They won't let me do it. It's crazy. And you know what? If people just stop and think, they would say to themselves, why is it for the last 2 years, everything on TV is all good with this vaccination? Nobody's speaking out like if they had like bad reaction. They won't. They're shadow banning everybody. And the Supreme Court, Robert Kennedy Jr., I'm telling you guys, you got to look him up on his newsletter, The Defendant. He's kicking butt and taking names. He's going up against Fauci and all the social media giants for silencing truth to the people. He served a subpoena like 2 weeks ago, and I didn't know that the Supreme Court ruled in his favor against Fauci and Big Farm about these vaccinations, that there should not be a universal mandate and how they're dangerous. Did you know that? That was in March. What are they doing?
Yeah, I didn't hear about that.
And I'm sorry.
No, go ahead. I said I didn't hear about that.
That's what I'm saying. They're shadow banning everything. And it's nuts. And let me tell you guys, I'm telling you right now, don't go for this monkeypox crap. I'm telling you, because this monkeypox has fluoride in the shot. That fluoride will kill you. I'm telling you. They got some stuff in this shot, and there's a new blue tap. You can look it up. There's a new Bluetooth app. Guess what? It can monitor. If you're standing next to anybody vaccinated and you have that Bluetooth app on your phone, they pop up.
Mm-hmm.
There was a guy sitting on the plane. He put it on his phone. Boop, 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 boop. And if you go to a cemetery with freshly buried graves, they pop up. This is crazy. You pop up. Your name doesn't pop up, but there's a number that pops up. That thing is in you. I don't know, what the heck is going on, but people got to wake up and realize this isn't right. Something is wrong. So please, guys, if you got it, don't get any more. All right? We got our natural immunity system that God gave us that could fight this. You got to just stop. And I'm telling you right now, I don't know how all these medical professionals sleep at night, because now these doctors are speaking out. And I'm telling you right now, Robert Kennedy Jr. and these people that are fighting, thank God, because they didn't have to do this. Robert Kennedy Jr., that Kennedy family, after everything happened to his family, why would he do this? He don't have to, but he is. But because he's a human, he has a heart, and so do I. That's why I'm out here and I'm talking, and I love everybody, and don't fall to the crap that they're giving you. All right? Because you got the Fourth Reich is alive and well. And this is what they're doing. They're doing Stockholm Syndrome for the fear, Operation Paperclip, and Operation Mockingbird. And you better look it up, because it's real. And that's what the news media is doing. It's all about manipulation. They're sick. They're sick, cold-hearted people. And that man that was talking about why they doing this to men, because this is what they're doing to men. They want to demasculate you. They don't want the men in the household. They want to knock down anything with the male. So all you males, stand up, do what you're going to do, stick that fade with your chest, flex those muscles, and there's nothing wrong with testosterone. Because let me tell you something. They're trying just to wipe out the whole, this is all about the devil, honey. The devil don't like people being in God's image, and he's going to do whatever he can to erase it. And it's all about the Baphomet. And this is spiritual warfare. I'm telling you right now. So you better pick a lane real quick, because this is good versus evil. These people are psychopaths. They're worshiping the devil. They're the devil's puppets, and they're stupid as anything, because the devil's a liar. The devil's a liar, and he's promising them wealth, power, fame, and to rule with him in the underworld. But if we're all gone, what you going to have? Who are you going to rule? So I just want to let you guys know that. And also, pedophilia has a new, they're hiding, they're cloaking. So their new cloak now.
Well, I don't want to. I don't want to cut you, but I got more calls on the line. I know you on fire. But go ahead, real quick. MAT.
Okay, so it's minor attracted persons. I love you guys. God bless. Anthony, you're the greatest. Bye bye, everybody.
Thank you for the call. Appreciate you. All right. Shout out to the caller. And thank you guys for being here. If you like what you're hearing so far, please give the video a thumbs up. 727 on the line. Who am I speaking to?
Hi, yes. This is Tanisha, and I'm from Florida, and we were talking about COVID and how they're now kind of recanting on all the things that they were saying. I know a doctor who experienced a lot of kickback because she refused to get the vaccine, and she's actually planned an event, and it's official. They're starting to advertise, and it's an event in Tampa, Florida, and I was wondering if I could possibly share it with you and the listeners what it's about.
Go ahead, go for it.
Okay. So it is an event where you can get free medical, dental, and vision care because, like I said, she was a doctor. Well, she is a doctor, but because she didn't want to get the vaccine, they were giving her a lot of hassle. And I don't remember the exact story to the T, but this is what she's focusing on now. And so she is organizing, well, I guess I should say she's looking for volunteers to come out and help. She needs like nurses, other doctors, dentists, and things like that. So the website is libertyandhealth.org. And if you can come out, it's September 15th to the 18th of this year. And they're also looking for non-medical volunteers too. So if you're not able to come, but you want to support the event, on the website, there's an opportunity where you can donate money. But I just thought that this was a good gesture, and that, you know, she didn't kind of just give up on the world after basically the world kind of gave up on her for not getting the vaccine. So that's all I have to say this evening. Thank you so much for taking my call, and I hope you guys have a good night.
Thank you for the call. Appreciate you. All righty. Let's go to 304 on line. Who am I speaking to?
ABL, Jeff from West Virginia. How you doing?
Well, man, can't complain about yourself.
Now, you can't kick me off for this joke. So I was going to ask you, what'd you do to get into some powdered donuts before you got on the air? You got something on your face there.
Yeah, man. You go with that one, man. Powdered donuts, man. It tore me up.
I was going to say, that looks like a beard from UC Berkeley. You're going to have to get that down to your collarbone, bud.
I'm trying, man. I'm a beginner, man. I'm trying.
You'll get it there. Hey, I'm just giving you a hard time, man. How you been?
It's all good, man. Can't complain.
Well, I'll tell you what, I'm going to try to get this. I was going to joke around a little bit, but I want to talk about this student loan program real quick. And I'd like to see maybe a few comments and see what y'all think about this. Because I think that a lot of the degrees that we have given out, we're not going to get the money back. So we might as well just go ahead and forgive these student loans. But there needs to be a caveat with that. And what it needs to be is we need to get rid of the federal student loan program. And it needs to go back to where banks and independent loaners are deciding if this 17 or 20-year-old is capable of paying back $50,000, $150,000 in the next several years. And I'd also and then I'll let you speak on that, but I get off here. But I want to just say two more things before I get off here. I feel bad for your first caller, but it doesn't get easier. I'm sorry. I've stood over the casket of friends that have done that to themselves, but I'm sorry for you. But just remember them, you know, and let everybody know that what drugs will do to your friends in your life. And I just want to say I had an Uncle John. He was a Marine. He was a Vietnam veteran. He lost his teeth in Vietnam to the butt end of an AK-47. He died earliest morning in his sleep. Couldn't happen to a better guy to die in his sleep peacefully. His wife died about a year ago of cancer. So, but I just want to see what you think of the student loan thing. If we've got to forgive it, I think we need to get rid of the program.
Yeah, definitely get rid of the program because that's the problem. It's the federal guarantee. And also that's causing college to cost a lot because the schools have a blank check because they're going to get paid regardless by the federal government. So they don't really care about how much they charge. And the government goes after the borrower, garnishing their wages, taking their tax returns, all kind of things to get that money back. It's kind of a scam, really, the whole program.
Actually, a lot of times what's going to happen is these people that get, you know, they'll get these degrees that are worthless. They're going to wind up having some kind of mental illness. 10, 15, 20 years down the road, they haven't paid it back. They're going to get on disability. And when that happens, you can get those loans forgiven anyway.
Yeah.
And so they can't garnish your wages. So it needs to, like I say, I think it just needs to be forgiven and gotten rid of. We need to take the hit on this.
Well, it's going to be a lot of money that, I wouldn't want to be the person that says, let's forgive it because of the cost that's involved. But if we did forgive it, then it also has to be, let's abolish the student loan program because we don't want to be in the same position 5-10 years from now and continue this madness that we're doing. So, yeah. Okay, let's put it to you. Okay, 10, 15, 20 years ago, you see the 14-karat gold-plated R2-D2 commemorative coins.
And 20 years later, you take them into the coin shop, they're not willing to give you a fraction of what it's worth. And that's where we're at. We've invested in these gender studies degrees, and we're never going to get the money out of them. So we might as well just forget it, but get rid of but never order the R2D2 coins again.
I see what you're saying. Yeah.
You know, I think it's really our only option, but I would like to see what other people think of that. I'm going to get off here because I bet you got other callers hot. So we'll talk to you later, ABL. I'll try to call it again sometime.
Thank you for the call, man. Appreciate you.
All right. Bye, bud.
Yeah, I mean, that's a good point. If we're going to forgive it, let's go ahead and get rid of the actual program, because it's not going to, we're going to still have a lot of problems with this whole thing, with the student loan debt bubble. Oh, that bubble is crazy right now. And you're also going to have a continuation of how much it's going to cost, the very high costs and all that. It's going to be a problem. 307, you're on the line. Who am I speaking to?
It's not going to, we're going to still have a lot of problems with this whole thing. The student loan.
307, hello.
Oh, that's crazy right now.
Hello?
Can you hear me?
Yeah.
All right, turn your stream down in the background for me, please.
It's going to be a problem.
No, I can't actually be on.
Okay, don't get cold feet now. All right, 913, you're on the line. Who am I speaking to?
Oh, hi, ABL. It's Tammy from Kansas.
All right.
I'm glad I finally got through. Can you hear me okay?
I hear you well.
Okay. I had two different issues I was going to call in about, but then I have one that I'm going to talk about instead, and it's the the United States Postal Service creating a division just to handle election mail issues, like a permanent division. And they said that the idea behind the creation of the election and government mail services is to have a permanent division dedicated to dealing with election matters instead of handling issues one at a time as in the past. Election. And then they said that the executive director lady said that the services will oversee election mail strike teams in every local and district community to address any problems that might arise. But it's so hard like they're already raising stamps and everything else, and they are so short-handed across the country that they're creating new divisions. From 2012, they lowered the pay $10,000 a year, and now they're creating new divisions. I mean, who lowers the pay when cost of living is only going to go up and up and up? Is that not insane?
It is very insane. It doesn't make any sense to me. It's like, okay, how are we able to have a new division, but the people that are here already, you're not treating very well. You're lowering pay, like you say. The cost of living is only going to increase year to year. It'll increase naturally, and especially over the past couple of years, it's increased a lot because of all the inflationary things we've done to the country. So it doesn't make any sense. You need to take care of who you have here first, rather than trying to create a new division and pay them.
Exactly. And there was raises this past contract when it finally came out just now. The 2021 contract came out, but it just took effect right now. It's crazy. It's crazy. They made anyway, beside that, that's just so frustrating, but I want to look more into that division of the Postal Service handling, a whole division just for mail-in ballots. Like it's going to be I didn't think that the mail-in ballots were going to be like a permanent thing, The other thing I just wanted to say real quick is Biden going to Delaware all the time and people saying it's for vacation or whatever. The thing that stands out to me is that the reason he goes to Delaware is because he doesn't have to have visitor logs. There's no visitor logs going to Delaware, so he can do all his bribery, his money laundering. Biden can have his correct ladies. I don't want to say a bad word on your show. And then they put the $500,000 fence up around it. So that's why he goes to Delaware so much, because there's no visitor logs. And then last thing I'm going to say, and I'll let you go, is I get out and about a lot, talking to a lot of people because, I deliver mail. And I noticed that there was two different households that I didn't bring it up, but they brought it up. And they vote Democrat. I know because I deliver their mail, and they are all voting for Trump because they're so freaked out about this raid that went on at Mar-a-Lago. They were
wow.
You know what? I didn't really like Trump, all that much, but after seeing the raid and he's out of office and they still won't stop talking about him and stuff, and it put a whole different mindset in them, and they said, I still don't, really like Trump that much, but I'm going to vote for him because we were doing a lot better under him than we are now. Isn't that crazy?
That's crazy, and it's good to hear that people are starting to notice that. It's like, wait a minute, that raid wasn't really right. I'm glad people are able to see beyond their party affiliation and just see a thing that was not right for what it is. So that's very good to hear.
Yeah, not all of them are like that. Some are just, stubborn and want to just stick with the narrative. But it made me feel good. Oh my God, people are actually still have some common sense, in them left. That the news media hasn't totally brainwashed everybody. And they were, not real young. I mean, they were older, and so I don't know if that's more surprising or not. But anyway, that's all I was going to say. And I enjoy your show, so I will get off the phone and let you comment on it if you want to.
Well, thank you for your call. Definitely appreciate you.
Have a good day. Bye-bye.
Yeah, that's pretty good though. The people are starting to notice that, and I kind of figured that would have an effect on some people, as far as the raid and people not liking that too much. I knew that it was done for political purposes, but I'm not sure if I thought about it backfiring as far as the Democrat voters not liking that. That's a very good point that was made. So I want to see how the whole thing plays out. 405 on the line. Who am I speaking to?
Hey, ABL, it's me, Dustin. How's it going?
It's all good, man. About yourself?
Well, I'm kind of upset with what's been going on around my neck of the woods as of lately.
Well, what's happening around your neck of the woods?
Well, Monday we lost a Oklahoma County deputy because some idiot ran from the popo. Did I just say that?
Yeah, that's unfortunate.
Yeah, his funeral is on Friday, and it's really bad. I mean, it's been really downing on me because it just sucks. It really hurts. Sorry that it's just really downing me because I saw what was going on at work, and it was it ended at the Air Force base that's kind of right on my edge of the county, and it was luckily you didn't go into the Air Force base. Luckily he didn't get shot.
Right.
The suspect didn't get shot by the military, but one deputy did get killed, and the other one is in stable condition. And it just frustrates me, that nobody's talking about it because the suspect is white, and of course the police officers are white.
Yeah.
And I'm willing to bet you nobody's gonna say a word about it.
Yeah, that's how it goes, unfortunately, because the media, they want to pick up on certain narratives, and when the thing that happens does not fit the narrative, they want to ignore it. It's unfortunate. It's like that.
Yeah, but you want to hear the weirdest part is the deputy that was shot is 3 years younger than me. He was 35 years old, and I'm 38.
Wow. Yeah, that's pretty close.
Yeah, and it's just mind-blowing that people are losing their lives at that young of age.
Yeah, definitely.
I mean, I mean, that's what's going on in my neck of the woods because I'm just sick of what's going on. I mean, the sheriff, he when he took office a couple of years ago, he said he wants all his deputies to be accountable for their actions. He wants them to be wearing body cameras without raising, our taxes. He wanted a new jail. I mean, when we had, and this is one of the previous sheriffs, John Wetzel, real name. Actually, his last name was John Wetzel. He was a Democrat, only Democrat that I ever voted for a very long time, because he stuck with his guns. He stood against Obama for all 8 years. He had some of the worst conditions of all times in the county jail. That detention center in Oklahoma County was a pit. It was built poorly, but guess what? It's all some improvements, but yet it's still the worst jail in the whole country. But yet we're still building a new jail, and people don't want it. And yet we're still having idiots saying we don't want a new jail. We don't want this. We don't want that. What do you want? Where are we going to put our criminals to keep them off the streets?
I hear you, man.
We got too many idiots. We got too many idiots on the loose.
I'm with you, man. Well, I got a few more calls on the line, so I'm gonna get to those. Thank you for the call. Definitely appreciate you.
All right, bye, man.
All right, shout out to the caller, man. Stay strong. 773 on the line. Who am I speaking to?
How you doing, ABL? Great show. It's your retired Chicago police officer friend.
All righty, what's happening?
My first point I wanted to make, I watched your weekly tapes. If you notice in that one montage that they had on Fauci through the years, he was saying, Fauci was saying, or was being asked about the vaccine. And should everybody be vaccinated? He said yes. And, blah, blah, blah. Immigrants too? Yes, immigrants too. Then when they asked, well, what about the immigrants that are the illegal aliens and the immigrants that are coming across the border illegally? He said, well, that's a whole nother question, But the ones that are, coming through legally should be checked, and they are checked. Yeah, but the question is, what about the millions of people coming across the border illegally? Those people haven't been checked for COVID. Those people haven't been vaccinated. I love how he just dismisses that with one, a 3-word phrase. Well, that's a whole other thing that I'm not, going to speak on. Great. Next question. And then here's the thing: those police officers that you just showed on film, the border police trying to take those 2 guys into custody. They're doing what's necessary to effect the arrest. As you said, they showed great restraint.
Yes.
They were backing up. He was the aggressor. They're backing up. I mean, you only can back up so far. And that's an asp. That guy had an asp. It's instead of carrying a billy club now, we carry asps. They collapse into a smaller handheld thing, and then you kind of whip it out, and it gets long, and it's made of metal. It's not always that effective, but it helps keep people off you. And you're supposed to hit him in the legs, just like the guy was doing. He wasn't hitting him in the head or the face. He was hitting him in the body as the guy aggressed to him. I'm guessing at this. I think the FBI is getting involved because the Border Patrol is a national kind of thing. It's run by the government. So maybe they're the government agency that's looking into it. I'm not sure if the FBI, that's the reason the FBI is looking into it. But they should be vindicated. But they shouldn't have to go through any of that where they're questioned about the amount of force that they were taking to stop somebody from committing a crime, and that's coming into this country illegally. But the narrative, the real narrative of the Biden administration is that they just want to let everybody in illegally. And as far as I'm concerned, and I've said it before, and you've agreed with it before, I believe that they've been let in illegally simply because they want to increase their numbers of voting illegally. It's the same thing with, why now let's give the post office, we'll make this division of the post office in charge of this. It's a smoke and mirrors kind of game. It says, see, we're doing something about it. We have the post office watching. We're watching. This is a secure thing, this mail-in votes. There's no ballot stuffing that, no one is stealing in the election here. Well, who's to say who's filling those things out? So, there you go with that. And then one last thing with that mass shooting where the girl from Cameroon, I believe it was, exactly, where was she going? She was getting on a plane and going back to her country. I don't like the way it's going here in America for me. I'm disgruntled. Maybe I'm a little bit mentally ill, or maybe she just believes all the hocus pocus nonsense that, we came into your apartment because we told you that we need to fix the pipes. And this is why we came into the apartment. You didn't want to let us in, but we need to get into your condo. And then she makes up this whole thing where, they put bugs in there and they're, whatever they were doing to her phones and listening devices. And let me just go and shoot everybody who I think is at fault. Then I'll get back on a plane and I'll go back to my country and leave it at that. But these are not stories. Here in Chicago, so far, ABL, these are accurate numbers. Total homicides so far this year, 457. 457 homicides this year in Chicago. It's not even the end of August. And my point about that is the same thing with this mass shooting in Atlanta, is that most of the shootings, unless it fits their narrative, are never talked about or even make the news. I can't tell you how many hundreds of incidences that I've been involved with or my fellow police officers in Chicago have been involved with that never hit the news. Why? Well, it's just because it's some poor black kid on the South Side that's been shot by another poor black kid, or, whatever it might be. If it doesn't fit the narrative, you never hear about it. But, get one copper on camera, and even if it's justified, just crucify all of them. Just crucify everybody and keep playing it over and over. And people are influenced by the media and TV. You can't help but be influenced by. People are influenced by what you say, ABL, because you have a big platform. And the thing is, I realize that you take seriously your influence. That's why you watch what you say, you research everything, you give credits to where you got that information from. You're way more, what's the word I'm looking for? Legitimate than a lot of news facilities, because they'll just go with whatever they want, whatever narrative they want. They don't feel any responsibility for what they're reporting. This is a good news story. It becomes entertainment to them rather than information. That's my 2 cents. Whatever you want to comment on, I appreciate it. Great job, ABL, and I'll talk to you later.
Thank you for the call, man. Appreciate it. Great call. I don't have much to add there. I think what he said about me, as far as I take what I do very seriously. I don't want to say things that I don't know because I don't want to put out false information. That's why I always tell you guys at the beginning of each of these live streams, I say, go to my website, and for each video, I have sources. Please fact check me. And if I'm wrong, then you can prove it and let me know. But I always make sure that I have my facts straight. All right, Skype caller, you're on the line. Who am I speaking to?
Good day. How you doing, Anthony?
It's all good, man. Can't complain.
I'm calling from Australia. Just had a few things about universities and police and a few topics people have talked about tonight.
All righty.
We don't really have the student loan thing in Australia, but our universities are basically just derivatives of the CCP of China. That's where they get their money from, is international students.
Ah, okay, I see.
And we saw a little bit of it before when the Hong Kong thing was happening, and the universities were banning support for Hong Kong.
Wow.
They were going down, taking down like advocacy posters, like Free Hong Kong and stuff. They banned them in the school.
Oh, wow. And because of the colleges, universities' allegiance to China, you can't have any pro Hong Kong protests.
Exactly. Like Australian students can't really afford the universities now because of all the foreign money in them, and Asia just basically owns our higher learning institutions at this point.
So how do students pay for school if it costs so much and it's not really a student loan thing over there? How do they finance it?
You don't really.
Oh, so you don't... Huh?
Australians just don't really get to go to uni because all the foreigners buy out the places. There's only so many spots.
Wow. Amazing.
Also, over the whole COVID handling thing, I can talk about the police, but as well, I think that woke up a lot of people to the problems we have by relying on Chinese money and infrastructure. And when the goods stop coming, everyone freaks out, and now toilet paper's worth more than gold.
Right, yeah. I remember that whole thing.
Yeah, the same thing's happening now with Taiwan. People are trying to voice opinions about Taiwan, and the universities and higher learning institutions just won't have it.
Right.
Yeah, another short thing about the police is I grew up in a small country town. I know my local cops. They're great people. But the handling over COVID that I saw on the news in Australia was a bloody joke, mate. And I think just following orders isn't a good enough excuse. That's what the Nazis said. I'd hate to conflate the two, but everyone that wants to stand up for them says, oh, they're just following orders and doing what they're told. Well, they can apply the law with discretion. They don't have to do it.
Yeah, I was watching some of that, and it was really crazy. I mean, people were getting manhandled unnecessarily, and it got to the point where, okay, what are we even doing? What are we trying to accomplish with this method of trying to enforce certain rules and regulations? It didn't make any sense. It was way over the top.
Yeah, and you have like Greenpeace and environmental, and we even had a massive BLM march during COVID over the Floyd thing. And that was all allowed to go ahead. And any kind of freedom protest is just instantly anti-vaxxers, get out the rubber bullets, get the tear gas. Some pregnant woman in her pajamas got arrested and the cops came to her home because she made a Facebook post about wanting to attend a freedom march. She wasn't even there. It hadn't even happened yet.
That's crazy.
Thought crimes.
Yeah, thought crimes. Yeah, just because I say I want to go there, I'm going to get arrested before I even go. That's crazy.
Yeah. I don't want to keep you too long, but if you got any other points you want to add to what I've said, I can reiterate some stuff. I don't know.
Thank you for your call, man. Definitely appreciate you.
All right. Cheers, mate. You're doing well.
Thank you. Yeah, it's crazy. I remember the whole thing about Australia. I was watching a lot of that on the news as far as how they handle a lot of the virus restrictions, regulations. And what he's talking about as far as China, a lot of the Chinese students coming over there and raising the price of the university. So your average Australian citizen is having a hard time being able to afford to go because they don't really have the student loan thing that we have. You see, one thing about the United States, our system is unique to us. People want to compare us to other parts of the world, but it's not really comparable. People say, oh, well, healthcare is free in X, Y, and Z place. Well, how about going to college? How about being able to get a job? How about being able to live and afford and all that kind of good stuff? Like, how about the whole situation? How about being able to get there? And, you know, we're still the best country on planet Earth, and that's period. 228, you're on the line. Who am I speaking to?
Hey, I didn't think you'd answer the phone. You shocked me. Hey, how you doing?
Oh, well, about yourself?
I'm fine. Listen, this is what I got to say. All of this that's going on, I think they have an end game in mind. I really do. They're trying to take down America, and I do believe they're trying to invoke a civil war to where they can take us over, bring down America. Because what would bring us down more than a civil war? But it won't be like the first Civil War. It won't be North against South. All the states, all over, except maybe California, they won't be, but all the states and all the people are going to be against the government. Do you know what I'm saying?
Yeah, I hear you. Absolutely.
Yeah, it won't be North against South. It'll be people against the government. That's what I think.
Yeah.
That's exactly what I think, It'll be like the Revolutionary War, against tyranny. And it's our constitutional right to fight against a tyrannical government. That's what the Second Amendment's all about. It doesn't say that you have the right to shoot deer or buffalo or rabbits. It says to defend yourself against tyrannical governments. Well, right now, our government is tyrannical. That's what I think. And that's truly what I think. And they're trying to push us into it because they think they can call out the military against us. But they're going to have a big surprise if they do that too. They don't know how much of the military sides with the people. Do you remember anything at all about the Czech Republic revolution when the government pulled out the tanks against the people that were trying? You know what happened? The troops wouldn't fire on their own people. They got out of their tanks and joined the people.
Right.
You can go back and read up on it, but that's what happened in the Czech Republic.
Okay.
The military would not fire on their own people, and that's what's going to happen here too. Now they'll have some that will, they'll obey orders, but mostly they won't.
Right.
And I really do believe that's what's going on.
Makes sense to me.
Huh?
It makes sense to me.
Well, no, I really do think that, a tyrannical government. That's if you read the Second Amendment, read it through where they say to defend against tyrannical government. Well, our government's the tyrants now. And that's all I've got to say. And how you been doing? One Virginia girl to a Virginia boy. How y'all doing?
Oh, everything's all right. Can't complain too much. Everything's going good.
Yeah, we could use a little rain here, but other than that, it's okay.
Right. Yeah. Hopefully it rains. You take some. We can a whole lot of rain over here. We get some more rain we had over here, and we could trade some of that no rain for a little bit of rain.
Well, our crops need a little bit more rain. Oh, we get some rain. Don't get me wrong, but we ain't got enough like we usually get.
Right.
Okay. Well, I'll let you go, and God bless you.
All right. Thank you for your call. Appreciate you.
Okay, bye.
All right. I think that will be a wrap for me today. Thank y'all for joining. You guys are the best audience anywhere on the internet. But I got to wrap it on up here. If you couldn't get on tonight, I'm sorry. It's not my fault. Please don't blame me. You know who to blame. Blame the white man. All righty. And I'll be back. I should be back live on Saturday, but that's kind of a toss-up because I think I'll be traveling that day. So it's a toss-up. Who knows? So we'll see. If I'm not here on Saturday, it's because I'm traveling. Again, I will be in Dallas, Texas on Friday. This Friday, August 26, 2022, at the Angelica Theater, 7:30 p.m. for the Uncle Tom Part 2 premiere. I will be there. It'll be a lot of us there. You're going to have myself, Brandon Tatum, Ben Carson, I believe is going to be there. Larry Elder's going to be there. Dr. Carol Swain, Vardy Bartram, I think is going to be there. It's going to be star-studded. You got to come out. Friday, August 26th, and you can purchase Uncle Tom Part 2 on UncleTom.com. You could, if you pre-order it before the 26th, you still got like another day or two. Use promo code ABL to get 30% off. So again, UncleTom.com, buy the Uncle Tom Part 2 documentary, film, movie. Use promo code ABL to get 30% off. And if you go to the premiere, if you buy your ticket, you're able to get a hard copy of Uncle Tom Part 2 with your ticket. So come on out, check us out. If you guys are in Dallas, you want to come to the event, hey, it's free, it's open. It's not free. It's not free, but it's open to all. Get your tickets, come on out, check us out, and check out the film, Uncle Tom Part 2, live at Angelica Theater this Friday, August 26th. That's where I'm going to be. So when I'm traveling the next day, I may or may not be able to make it to do the show, but we'll see. All right. Okay, somebody say 30%. What? Yes, you can get 30% off your pre-order of Uncle Tom Part 2 with promo code ABL. Easy to remember, right? Simple. All right. But that'll be that for that. I got some super chats right here I'm going to read. Then I'll wrap it on up, put the bow clean on top. I think it's about KMIT who says, question, where does Mexico get most of its money? Migrants sending money made here back home to Mexico. Exactly. Thank you to Nikki who says, for your studio mini fridge, dear ABL, no more water runs into the house. Thank you. I need to get that. I could put it like right here, actually, right by the desk, right here. Right, that's perfect. I think it's a corn pop who says, I'm banned in half my comments. Hey, man, it's not my fault. All right. Matter of fact, you seem like you're kind of trolling a little bit, so that's your fault. All right. Thank you to Lou Maldonado who says, ABL, love your honesty. Thank you for that. I appreciate you. Well, that will be a wrap for me. So you guys have been fantastic. Thank you to the mods for doing a great job keeping the chat nice and in check. This is also a podcast, of course. You can listen to it on your favorite audio streaming platform at 8 a.m. tomorrow morning. So this is a Wednesday at about 11 p.m. So 8 a.m. tomorrow morning, it'll be available, 8 a.m. Eastern time. It'll be available on your favorite audio streaming platform, whether it be Google Play, Spotify, Stitcher, Anchor, Apple, iTunes, etc. Link for that will be in the description. Or just go to your favorite audio streaming platform and search ABL Live. I should pop right on up. So that'll be a wrap. And until next time, y'all be safe. I'm out. And peace.